Prime Minister François Bayrou called it an unprecedented catastrophe.
The blaze has forced thousands to evacuate as firefighters battle to contain it.
In Thailand, 23 individuals and companies face charges after a Bangkok office building collapsed during an earthquake. The disaster killed at least 92 people.
Prosecutors say faulty construction and ignored safety regulations caused the tragedy.
The International Organization for Migration reports 56 deaths and 132 missing after a migrant boat capsized off Yemen's coast. Joseph Eckerson reports.
The vessel carried 200 people when it sank near Shukra.
President Trump's new import tariffs took effect yesterday, targeting goods from over 60 countries and the European Union. Rates of 10% or higher now apply.
The White House says the tariffs aim to boost domestic industries. Critics warn of rising consumer prices.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
Damn, it's coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
And look how big I am. What the hell is that all about? How come he's so big?
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't scream. Oh, that's why. Dopey dope. Alright. That's better. Now I gotta change my... GD was in here. He was messing with my setting overnight. I know, he snuck into the... Now I gotta do this. Whoa, that's too much. And that's about a big thing. Good morning, folks. It is another wonderful... It's Friday, right? Friday, August... I want to say 8th. August 8th, 2025. As you already know, GD snuck into the studio and was messing with my settings. Made me very big. I just made me normal size again, and I feel better. Just listening. Oh, what happened, Jordan? I don't know if you know this about Frank Zappa. What? Frank Zappa claims that John Lennon stole a song of his during a jam session at the Fillmore, 1970 or something, a song that Zappa calls King Kong and Lennon called Jam Rag and published as his. Now, I've heard this story a million times since 1970, but I never checked either one of them out. I never was inclined to even listen to what those songs sound like until just before this program. And all I can tell you is, that's like me saying GD stole wiping his ass from me because I was the first guy to wipe my ass. Because it's not music. Frank's dead. Frank, that's not a song. It's noise. And, he stole my noise? Noise. Anyway, today we have actually two guests, so things are looking up. How about that? Two guests. If they show up, Dr. Elaine Salas, who's going to help us clear our minds. And who doesn't need their mind cleared? Do you need your mind cleared? My mind is cluttered. It's like what do they got? What do they got them? What do they got them? Them people. Can't think of what they are now. that people would just clutter. You just, what do they call them? Dementia. That's what they call them. But now, but my mind is full of just junk, crap that needs to be cleared out. And then in the second hour, we got Robert Gantz, who used to be, I don't know if he used to be or still is, a cinematographer for some very prestigious productions in Hollywood, California. First-time author who has written a book, and this is probably why I think he's no longer a cinematographer. The lead character in the book is a quote unquote or quote washed up cinematographer unquote who learns about sex trafficking in Hollywood. So that should be, and it's close to home, based on reality, what he knows about sex trafficking in Hollywood. Maybe we can get him to give up the Epstein dirt. And I don't mean Jeffrey Epstein. I mean Juan Epstein. I mean Brian Epstein. I mean Epi Epstein. Wasn't that a Bob Nelson character? Anyway, you probably guessed by now that I have not slept again, and good guess for you. Hey, you know what? Maybe you're onto something there. Anyway, I'm just what do they call them? I'm gonna stuff her with this idea. What do they call the people? TD's gonna know, and it's I have to rely on him for everything. Now he's like my aide, and I don't mean he has AIDS. I mean I can't even talk. So you know what? I'm not even going to try to talk. How about that? I'm just going to sit here and look at the screen. So in honor of nothing. We're just going to get high daily. That's all I'm going to play. Daily High Club. You know what? Go to Daily High Club, buy some stuff, and go to W and buy some stuff. Links are all in the description. You people who don't buy stuff, buy stuff. And if you want, you could join the channel and subscribe to the channel. Join the channel. Maybe we should come up with some first run content that you get early releases on it, some kind of benefit to joining the channel. But for now, buy GD a cup of coffee, even though he doesn't drink coffee. He'll give it to me and put some good brew on it, good brew, and give it to me. I've talked enough. I've just talked enough. I've talked enough, I say.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now is a man whose mind is always clear as day, clear as a bell. A bell's not that clear. Anyway, T.D. Fenderson. Good morning, T.D. Fenderson.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Today we are focusing on clearing your mind. We at MindDog TV began with clearing our colon, and nothing says clean colon like good brew, bro. Have a good crap and have a good day. MindDogTV.com. Support your local merchandise and enjoy the suffering.
Interesting you went there, because the guest who was going to talk to us about mind clearing had colon cancer, and that's when he decided to become I wonder if the two are related. Like, I think they are, right? Your colon and your mind. You clear your colon, you clear your mind. You get a colonic and your brainionic or something. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Did you? Hoarders is what it is. It's hoarders. That's what's in my brain, in my head. Hoarders, like people with just junk everywhere.
Yeah.
So I need clearing. But if this guy, he's not selling a book or a course, I don't know. So okay, he's just gonna come here and clear my mind and.
No, I thought he had a book. A method. I think he's selling a method, or you can get certified for like $2,700. It's CM course.
Oh no, I can't do that. That's how you smell that culty. It smells a little culty, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know what cults smell like, but if it's what I think it is, you know.
Well, you know what my ass smells like, right? You do. I think
No,
you do.
I haven't. I thought I did, but I was smelling Steven's hands.
Oh,
Listen,
his breath. His
I
breath.
was smelling his
Ah,
nose.
you. I'm sorry. We went there already. It's kind of early to go
This is
all
the
the way to
second Friday in a row that Ron has missed. Was it the third?
third. But you know what? I'm. It's a tough time, parents. Do we know if his mom has passed or is she still?
I didn't know. Last time I hadn't talked to him for a couple of days, and she was,
She was hanging on by a thread last
right. He
Friday.
wasn't. Yeah, it was touch and go, I think. But he said she still has a sense of humor.
That's nice, but it's a tough time, and so even after, the inevitable happens, you still need some time to kind of heal up and recover and have. He hasn't been performing at all, right? He's just been working.
I don't know the answer to that. I think he has been performing. Now, I think Ian has a partial solution to getting all of our sponsors into like one ad.
Okay, I'm all ears for that. Put your Mind Bloom in your Daily High Club bong and smoke it up. I don't think you could. No, I don't think it'll. What you can wash it down with a naked wine. Naked wine. They haven't sponsored us in a while. But just last night, I was going to bring this up. Ian is so psychic. He's so evilly psychic. We got rejected. First sponsorship that I reached out for that actually rejected us. The reason they rejected is unknown, but it's Flash Wines. And I was thinking, I'm thinking like doing some kind of internet prank, having people just go there, start to check out, ask for help, and with the little chat bot and say, where do I put in my Mind Dog code? Oh, my Mind Dog code. There's no Mind Dog code. Yeah, I thought you were going to be a sponsor of Mind Dog Coffee with Doug. No, you're not. Fuck it. I'm not buying I was going to buy 10 cases of Splash Wines, but now I'm not. But we can't get anybody to do that. I can't even get anybody to do anything, right?
There's a winery around here. Maybe I'll reach out to them, see if they want to be on the show to promote their wine.
Stop whining. Naked wine. Come in the bottle.
Yeah, yes, because now I don't know, because they're in Maryland. I don't know if they would be able to ship anywhere else.
I am so glad that we never have to play that Naked Wines commercial again. Oh my God!
I was just thinking that I was going to play it today. No,
I think I took it out of the bucket. It was like an hour long.
Yeah,
the longest commercial ever. I don't know. That was just so painful. And Kelly encouraging him to keep doing that. Like, why? No, please. Anyway, that's the past. It's all in the past. It's a happy Friday. Are you happy it's Friday?
Yeah, yesterday felt like 2 complete days. I was exhausted. I had one of those very vivid dreams. Like I had my car. I put my car in charge, and if it's going to rain, I take an extra step because there's like a connector that will get exposed to water if it rains and I don't cover it. And so if it's supposed to rain and I'm charging my car, I cover that connector, which I did not do because it's not supposed to rain here for like another 4 or 5 days. And it didn't look like it was going to rain. It didn't smell like it was going to rain, and my joints didn't tell me it was going to rain. No reason in my joints.
Granny clamp it. You're what do they call it? I can't think of words anymore. I'm gone. I'll just leave.
So in the middle of the night, I had this dream, but I didn't know it was a dream. I did not know it was a dream. And it was, I look outside and it's pouring down raining. I went, shit, I have to go outside and take care of this before something shorts out. And I don't remember going outside. I remember going to the back door thinking, how am I going to stay dry and do this? And I thought to myself, I could walk along the eaves and stay dry. I remember thinking all this stuff, but I don't remember actually unplugging the car. And then my wife says to me, if you don't feel like going to the market, I'll go to the market. I'll pick up everything that we need. And I said, and I thought to myself, we do that on Saturday. It can't be Saturday already. What happened to Friday and Thursday night? And so I was really super confused because I was really stuck in this dream and everything seemed so real. And so when I got up this morning, when I got out of bed, I said, shit, I never went outside and unplugged the car. And so I went outside and it was dry as a bone. It hadn't rained.
Wow. You had me going there with the Trump and the shark and the water and the battery and the thing. I didn't know you could get electrocuted or whatever for short out a car.
Only Trump could get it. No, I couldn't. No, what my thing is, because actually I installed the outlet myself and I put a GFI breaker on the outside. So if by chance it does get wet or there's a problem, it trips a breaker, it trips the GFI outside. And I just hit a reset button. It doesn't affect the rest of the house.
Rheumatiz is the word I was looking for. Your rheumatiz tells you it's going to rain. Your rheumatiz, Granny Clampett.
Well, technically, it was my right knee before my surgery. Before I got a metal knee, I could give you a good weather forecast 3 days out from my knee. But once they fix my knee, then it just depends on if I have like an achy back, then maybe I can tell. But I can't tell from my knee anymore.
Does your knee stay the same size?
It does now.
No, you said the answer is no. My knee grows.
We don't.
It's a little joke, a little racially insensitive joke there for.
Well, I was insensitive, but I would say it's very clever. That was clever.
Well, it sounds like one of us needs mind clearing. Don't you agree?
Well, I want to know how the mind clearing works. If it's a matter of
you take a straw, you stick it in the ear, and you go clear. Well, we're gonna find out. Dr. Elaine, you know what? You can. How much you want to bet he's got an English accent with a name like Elaine? Elaine, not Elaine, like a chick name. Elaine.
Okay. Because we both would say he has an English accent. What part of England would you say his accent's from?
I would say part of England. Well, I don't even know it's England. I would say British. So something could be a Welsh. Could be. I don't know. London. I'm
going to say Worcestershire.
Right. Dr. Elaine, he's here now, by the way. Let's get him in. Dr. Elaine Salas is best known for helping ambitious. No, we don't have any of those.
Okay, yeah, might as well stop now. You can't help us. We're not ambitious.
Yeah.
Sorry you wasted your time showing up.
Anything for lazy bastards. Ambitious entrepreneurs break the cycle of their limiting beliefs. I have a lot of limiting beliefs. Almost every belief I have is limiting. So they can predictably make more sales. Me?
Isn't a belief by definition limiting? Because you have to define your belief, and once you define a belief, you've limited it.
Well, you could ask him that because I'm not besides my mind is cluttered. We talked about this. I'm a hoarder, so I've got things in there that need to get out of there. Sales achieve their goals. Who has goals? What are my goals again? Achieve their goals.
You said it wrong. It's goals.
So he's going to arrest Nicolas Maduro. We'll get to that later. And grow their businesses optimally without self-help courses, which I brought up yesterday, which I hate all those. Fly to Hawaii for my weekend of empowerment, whatever. Their endless therapy or overhyped events. Yeah, my weekend in Hawaii. Anyway, he's here now. Let's say hello to Dr. Elaine Salas. Good morning.
You're muted. You're muted.
Your microphone is muted. Can we unmute him here? No, we can't.
I think I can.
Unmuted.
Bonjour, guys. How you doing?
All right. What is that accent?
What it is actually, right? What it is. What is bonjour?
Oh,
that's French.
He's French.
Yeah.
All right, I'm wrong again.
I was close.
It's still an accent, though. It's still an accent.
Okay. Now I'm interested because Elaine is a French name or no? That sounds like a British name, no?
Yeah, it's Alain because it's ALAIN, and so in America or in English, you will say Alan, and spelled two ways actually, as you know.
Okay.
Yeah. It's and so usually people will say Elaine, which is a feminine.
Yeah.
And as you can tell, I'm a male, right? And so,
yeah. In America, people will always think you're saying, Elaine Bennis or something, which is a Seinfeld reference. Anyway, mind clearing is an interesting subject because, as I was trying to explain, but my mind is too cluttered. I feel like a hoarder of sorts. I have so much in there that needs to get out and no clear thoughts. What exactly is mind clearing?
Yeah, well, first of all, we all know that we've got a mind and a body, right? And so, but what is the mind, really? I mean, lots of people, they just cannot even define what it is, the mind. And so you have to understand that we live in two separate worlds in the same time. So we've got the outer world, right? What we perceive with our senses, right? So what we call our self-identity or our conscious mind, right? And so this is like what we are aware of in the world, right? So what are we aware? We're aware of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, our behavior and action. And after you've got, Matt, a totally separate world that is very mysterious and secretive. And it's called the subconscious mind. And you have no clue what the heck is going on down there. And so basically, that subconscious mind records everything you have been doing in your life from age 0 to now. All your skill as a podcaster, as a human being, all the skill you required are stored in your subconscious mind. All the automatic things happening in your body that you don't have to think about it, like your breathing, your heartbeat, and your digestion, are coming from the subconscious mind. So the mind is not what we think it is, because when you Google that things, right? And so when you look at the conscious mind, it's only 5 or 10% our mind. And the subconscious mind, therefore, is 90 to 95% our mind, and yet it's totally ignored. So what is mind clearing? It's about being able to bring the subconscious mind to the party. Like that, you can truly create, what you want in life.
My question is because the subconscious mind is somewhat literal. It doesn't really know the difference between reality and imagination. Whatever you tell it is real, it becomes real for it. So if you have this, let's say, mantra or this thing, you say, I want posterity, and that's what you keep telling your brain. I want posterity. I want posterity.
Posterity or prosperity?
You're ahead of me, Matt. You're ahead of me. But that's because you don't know any better, and nobody tells you any different, because it's a real word. Posterity is a real word. But what you really want is prosperity. Is your subconscious going to say, I know he really wants prosperity, and aim toward that? Or is your subconscious going to say, no, he said posterity, let's work toward his lineage?
So you want spell check built in, is what you're
I'm just asking if the subconscious has spell check.
Well, the subconscious mind can read your mind. So when you say it, you mean prosperity, and you say a different world, he will understand prosperity, but you will never get that, because you say, I want, so you project in the future meanings that you don't have it. And so the subconscious mind understand understand the present, understand that what you want, you already have it. And so that's the way you want to formulate, that's why affirmations start with, I am rich, right? I am prosperous. But I want prosperity meanings that, in the future, meanings that I don't have it now. And so the subconscious mind will understand, you don't really want it, right?
But your thing is called mind clearing, which implies it's a process that you're doing. It shouldn't be mind cleared then? That the mind is already cleared.
But you're assuming that this is my process. This is not my process. This is not how I do things, because the problem with the subconscious mind, and I don't know if you know, guys, but I used to travel a lot. I used to live on my sailing boat in south of France, right? And I was renting boats. So for like 10 years, I did that. And so the rest of the time, either I was sailing in the Mediterranean Sea, or I was like, buying a airfare to the South Hemisphere to bath in the sun. And the most frustrating I had when I was traveling, the frustration that I had, is like to talk to a cool guy, right? But my limitation were that I didn't speak the same language. So I was very frustrating. And I guess what's happening with the mind, we don't talk the same language by the subconscious mind. So you're gonna do some affirmation and things like that, and really hoping for the best, And so also people will tell you, oh, you have to identify those programs that are in your subconscious mind. I say no. You know why? Because your conscious mind is only 5 or 10% of your mind power. So you mean that you're going to crack the code of 90 to 95% of your mind power using only 5 or 10% of your mind? The odds are against you. Wow. So what you need to do, you need to delete those programs, and we can talk about how they are created, but you need to delete those limiting programming that you have. It's kind of like when you've got a computer and you've got a program that doesn't work. What are you going to do? You're going to delete that program. You're going to go to the Play Store, download a program that works better for you. And in the screen of life, you're going to love the outcome, right? Because you want obviously a different outcome. So the mind clearing is the same thing. You're going to delete what you don't want. You're going to download what you want. And you want to make sure that you create that on your screen of life in your reality, that it's going to happen for real in the physical world.
I think my heart is a little corrupt.
The analogy I have in my head is that if you have a door, the door has a lock. The lock is only about 2% of that door. But if you have a key, you get 100% access to the other side of that door because you've accessed that 2%, which opens up that 98%, so I don't get the 5%, 95%.
Yeah, it means you can Google that stuff, right? I mean, you Google it, that's what they will say. So it means, for example, maybe it's going to give you a little bit more information, right? So what happened right there, right? My conscious mind get 11 bits per second of information. So what I'm getting, talking to you guys, and having that dialogue, it's 11 bits per second. Your subconscious mind in the same time is grasping 11 million bits per second of information, of data. So that show you how powerful that stuff is. So all the things that we think we are, it's only 11 bits per second, right? But 11 million are stored in your subconscious mind, right? So by your conscious mind, of course, we use something conscious, right? It's a program I created, literally a program, but we need to speak the same language again, right? And so the language of a subconscious mind is picture. Remember, when you've got a dream that you remember, what are you going to remember about a dream? Always a picture or a movie, right? I never heard somebody told me, you know what, Dr. Salas, what I remember of my dream is only the smell of it, right? There's always a picture associated.
I think you can, though. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to distract from the whole conversation here, but I think people have different modalities of central representation in there. And there are, I would say most of the world is visual, but there's a percentage of the world that is auditory, and there is olfactory and whatever kinesthetic. And so there are some, and I think GD was talking about his dream this morning more in terms of feeling about the rain rather than a visual about the rain, because we were just talking about a dream sequence from last night. So I don't know if that.
Well, there's always a picture with it because that's how the subconscious mind processes information. That's why it can store in a picture. You can have symbolism. You can have so many things. And of course, the picture will trigger your memory and get the feelings and get the thought that you got from that. So remember, it's coming from your subconscious mind. It's like intuition. It's coming from your subconscious mind. We say it's the wisdom of the subconscious mind, right? So this is coming from an area that we're not really sure how, what's going on down there, to be honest with you, right? But we know certain truth, right? And so definitely the picture, that's how it works. And that's why the mind clearing works, right? Because I will basically ask you, okay, visualize something that what you don't like in your life, right? So you want to take an example? Give me an example.
Well, how about if you say...
I was saying him. I don't like him in my life. Can you get him out of my life?
Because I'm looking over there because you pointed I was like, who?
No, my life is perfect. I don't know if you know. I just kind of in the back of my head, I'm giggling because she said, I don't know if you know this about me, which is something we say a lot, but we never heard it with a French accent before. So I have it in a B now. It will be part of our sound bites. But GD, what do you got in your life? Me? You want to get rid of me?
No, I find you entertaining.
Well, you're the one.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
I the things um I don't know what I would remove from my life because it seems like most of what I have I've attracted to myself for one reason or another. Even the stuff that's not exactly positive, it helps me learn stuff about myself. I mean, even like the most challenging.
Honestly, you've
I
tuned into a
understand.
couple of narcissists here. We believe everything we do is perfect. So,
No, but like was it Tuesday night? I had a workshop and I had a very challenging thing, and it was difficult. But by the time it was over with, I'd learned something else about myself. You
Of
know,
course, that's how it
and
works, of course. But it doesn't mean that we don't want to change. It doesn't mean that you want to transform yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't want to grow. It doesn't mean that you want to heal when you're sick, you know? And so that's what I'm talking about. It's like something that to better yourself, right? Something that, for example, it's like, okay, let's pretend you've got a goal. Let's do it the other way, right? Let's
you know
reverse
what?
engineering.
Honestly, if I had to set a goal right now, and you're putting me on the spot here, I appreciate it. I would set a goal of making this stuff self-sustainable so that I could pay GD what he's worth rather than what I
All
actually
right.
pay him.
So making more money, right? And so you need to
more
put
money
that.
to get him paid what he's worth. That's my goal.
Okay, whatever it is, right? It doesn't really matter. The
or at least
output,
pay me 3/5 of what I'm worth.
Yeah. I would say he's worth. Honestly, I'd say he's worth $100,000 a year, but he's not getting paid. He's getting paid a percentage of that. But
so your goal and desire is to have him paid $100,000, right? And so the current reality is not that, right? He's not getting paid this amount of money, right? So that's where we start. So what I will ask actually you, since you're probably paying him, right? And so I will ask you to visualize the current reality, the worst case scenario, that you don't have enough resources to pay him. So you visualize that, and you have to be in that picture. That's very important. So you visualize yourself not being able to pay him what you think is due to him, right? And after, we're going to delete that, right? We're going to delete that, send a program. You're going to send the program to you in that picture, right? And after, when it's deleted, I'm going to ask you, okay, now you need to visualize the opposite. That is it's easy for you to pay him $100,000, right? Super easy, no problem. So you're going to visualize that, and I'm going to give you the technology to speak the same language that your subconscious mind, and send that program will be customized, right? And send that program yourself to you in that picture, seeing yourself being no problem to pay him, right? And after, you want to make sure that what will be the action that you think, like the first step, that you think it will be necessary for you in order to be able to pay him, which is create. So we delete what we don't want. I say don't want because I want to keep it very simple for everybody. You delete what you don't want, you download what you want, and you want to make sure that you create that in your life, and it's happening, it's manifesting physically. That's that simple.
Yeah, it sounds like mental gymnastics here for a small. Besides having a cluttered mind, I also have a bit of a weak mind. So it just sounds like a lot of mental work for an old geezer like me. Like, wait a minute.
Well, I treat 11 years old, and we can do it easily. So
well, there is something
I don't know what it says about you.
There is something I did not want in my life. I just remembered it, but I had a tree fall down in my yard, and I've been getting rid of it slowly but surely.
He wants a new chainsaw.
No. Well, I got the tree. The tree is all gone now. But now what's left are because that area didn't grow grass because the tree was so big, nothing grew underneath of it. But now that the tree is gone, the weeds, which grow much faster than grass, have taken over. And so and a lot of the weeds have this root system under the ground. And so I've been getting rid of it, slowly but surely, because even my weed killer doesn't kill these weeds. My weed killer just weakens them, and they wilt. And I still have to go out and get rid of it. But me thinking to get rid of it isn't going to work. I actually have to go out and physically do the work or pay someone, which I am too cheap a fuck to do that. So Yeah, that the only way that's going to be manifested if I just say to myself, it's got to be done, and I just find a joyous way to do it. Listen to music and say, this is my workout for the day. I'm getting my reps in, I'm getting my steps in, I'm getting my abs worked on, and my biceps and my triceps and my antiseptics and all those other things.
Wow.
So that comes up to the question, why are we procrastinating, right?
Well,
Yeah, that's basically it, right? And so why are we procrastinating? It's because our thought, our emotion, and our behavior are not aligned. So for example, if I say, you know what, I'm going to start a diet tomorrow, right? So my mind says, my thought, I'm going to start a diet. And after, I recall, last time I started a diet, I lost the weight, but I'm getting back in 2 weeks. So my emotions not going to be aligned with my thought. So best case scenario, I may take the action of doing it, but I'm not going to last. So the mind clearing will make sure that your thought, your emotion, and your behavior and action are all aligned, like that it can flow and it's effortless to do things. And now there's no more procrastination because whatever resistance you had, toward taking action is gone.
I just asked AI, Microsoft AI, to create an image of G.D. Fenderson collecting $100,000, and boy, did it get it wrong.
Has me drawn? Did you draw me as a prostitute?
Well,
that's me with no money. That's me with no money.
Yes. Okay. $100,000 turns out to be no $1,000.
So even AI can't imagine me having that kind of money.
Exactly. That was exactly my point. So how can I possibly get a clear image of that in my own head if a supercomputer can't even do it?
AI is not designed for imagination, really.
Yeah, okay.
AI is very logical, right? It's like basically AI is kind of a left brain. It's kind of something with only the left brain and not the right brain. So AI is very good, very fast, but it's not. AI has been built by copying us, right? With ChatGPT and all the questions we ask, and that's how AI, gets so-called superiority or intelligence, right? But this is when we talk about intelligence, it's only logic, analytical intelligence, which is only 5 or 10% of our mind. We don't talk about AI. AI has no intuition. AI is not connected to any spirit.
Right.
So that's why they want to tell us that AI is like the best things. I mean, I think there's an agenda. I mean, between you and me, I think there's an agenda where they push AI.
I think you're preaching to the choir, at least over here. Right. Anyway, me, the jury's still out. But AI aside, you don't offer self-help courses or like these. What exactly? How do you work with people one-on-one? What is the?
Yeah, I treat people. For example, there's basically 3 programs. The first one is called Mind Clearing Basic, and after is Mind and Body Clearing. So I treat pain. You see, I really knew I was under something when somebody come to me and we do a Zoom session. He's got neck pain, and after just by reprogramming the mind, by deleting, doing the 3 steps of mind clearing, the pain is gone.
Yeah.
Because you cannot argue with no pain, right? I mean, people are not going to fake, I'm going to please the guy and say I have no pain, right? And there's after the goal and success clearing, which is about making sure that you bring the subconscious mind, you use 100% of your mind power in order to get what you want.
Yeah, the problem is 100% of mind power still isn't like equal to like a small child. It's a weak brain. It's like, for instance, to use Gigi's car plugging in analogy, it's undercharged. It's about to run out of charge altogether, this brain. So 100% of my brain still not going to cut it.
So you know what we will do? We'll do mind clearing on what you're thinking, all that negative thought that you had about yourself.
Was that a limiting belief I just expressed that I need to overcome?
That's it.
All right. What is, because I have 2 different links here. One is mindclearing.com/contact us. And then there's a special offer, mindclearing.com/success-goal-clearing.
Yeah, on the website, like I say, I've got several programs. One is for like people who want to treat their pain, or like some coaches and health professionals, right, that want to not only be able to access to their superpower in a way, and be able to have a thriving practice, but also they can treat people physically, right? Even into that, right? And so we can get rid of the mind and body clearing is to get rid of a chronic aspect of a symptom, right? And so you can have, I treated asthma with that. I treated pain, neck pain, low back pain, or things like that, or inflammation in the body.
That's one thing I'd love to get rid of, back pain. But you know what? If I'm going to start thinking about physical ailments and stuff that I want to get rid of, let's just start over. I mean, let's get rid of all of it. Let's just start it. Can I just start over as an infant and try this again? I think I know what to do this time around.
Well, you can start over in your mind, and that's why it starts. Because if your mind believe it, it's like, they know that when they do some research, man. That's what they do. When let's pretend I've got heartburn, right? I've got heartburn, and there's a study about heartburn, and they say, if you take that pill, Dr. Salas, you have no more heartburn. I say, okay. I take the pill, I have no more heartburn. And after I say, man, that product is really good, right? But after they say, hold on, you never got the pill, you got the sugar pill. And that's called the placebo effect. So the way I was able to heal myself, right, is because I believe that for some reason I had that program, that pill will help me. Maybe my dad, had a problem and he took a pill and the problem went away. So I've been programmed that way that, hey, you know what, the pills work. Right. And so that's called the placebo effect. And it's in all study, they understand the power of our mind, but they dismiss that, or they brush it up and say, oh, you know what? It's only the placebo effect. I say, no, that's how the mind works, man. That's how it works. So let's being the placebo effect.
Wow.
That's what the mind clearing can do that for you.
This is going to be a very beat up timeline. But I love the accent, but so let me wrap my head around your backstory. You had a perfect life, like sailboats in the south of France. I mean, probably women galore, everything going, and then you decide, I'm going to become like this. I want to help people. I'm giving up the.
Now, I'm just Matt. Is Women Galore like the French version of the James Bond movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that declutter your mind now? But anyway, or clear your mind. How do you go from that, what seems like pretty cool life, to what you, and now I'm not saying the life you have now isn't pretty cool, but it sounds like why give up the boating life, the sailboat in the south of France, the women galore, that whole thing, and you got the accent going, so it's probably you're like a chick magnet anyway.
Everybody there has an accent. They don't hear it anymore.
True. That's true. What am I thinking? Well, you get the people from England coming over and they say, "Oh, did you hear that on that boat over there? Let's go over there." But how do you get from that life to the life you have now?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel in my life I had already 3 or 4 lives, right? I mean, that's crazy in a way, and the theme was so different. So I was, like you say, I was minding my own business, I was an animal party, and all that, and a sun chaser, basically, but what happened, I had an experience and I saw myself helping people. I mean, this is totally out of the blue. You have to understand that in my family, there's nobody involved with a medical system, no massage therapist, no nothing. And it just came to me like, what the heck? But I've been blessed because, it's just like a calling, and so I couldn't say no. So imagine they used to call me the gypsy. I had long hair, as long as that gentleman right there. And I had the hearing. They used to call me the gypsy, right? Yeah, mine was pretty long. They were not bred, but
that's not real, by the way. So
I know. Oh, believe me, this is real.
All right, I'm sorry.
I'm all natural.
No problem, no problem. And so I just couldn't say no. I don't know when you've got a calling, when it's coming from your heart, and speak to your heart. You just cannot say no, right? And so I remember, so it's like kind of a long story, but finally, chiropractic. Why chiropractic? Because there's a Chinese doctor that advised me to do maybe chiropractic, and because they were talking about the innate intelligence, our own ability to heal ourselves. And for me, that was fascinating. So imagine, I used to party all the time, and I go to see my parents, and I say, oh, by the way, I'm going to America to become a doctor. I mean, they literally laugh at me, right? But they didn't know that my heart has been touched, and that give me the motivation, the fuel, if you want, set up a fire in my being that I just had to do it. And sure enough, I graduate from chiropractic school 3 years later.
Wow.
So I'm having trouble with the fact that your life is so good when you say to your parents, I want to be a doctor. They're like, why slum it and be a doctor? Why ruin your life and be a doctor?
A lot of Jews.
But that's a good point. But because for me, my dad was a kind of a very negative person and very controlling. So of course, when I got out of a house, right, I just wanted freedom. And for me, freedom was synonym of adventure. So of course I bought a boat, right? Because that's the symbolism of adventure. You like the sailing boat, you go with the wind and all that. But after I realized that the true freedom comes from within.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think
not
you saw
from
the
the outside
Duran
world that you're gonna get.
Girls on Film video on MTV. Duran in the sailboat. Girls on Film. No, maybe I'm wrong. That would have got me going for the boats. Why do we keep coming back to? Am I a misogynist womanizer? Is that what I'm revealing to myself here?
I don't know.
Are you married? Are you married?
Yeah, he's married, and I don't know who's just learning that he's a misogynist.
6 more hours. Yeah. So, is there goal setting? Is that traditional goal setting? We set a goal and we just accomplish a goal. That is part of like the self-help methodology, modality that people put a goal out there, work towards that goal. Is that basically what you're talking about here, or is there something different than that?
Yeah, it's called goal and success clearing. So I think we all have goals. I mean, like one of your goals was to pay him more, right? I mean, your goals is like, okay, what do you want basically? What do you want in your life, right? What did you want something or you don't? And it's okay not to want anything, but the way we are wired and conditioned in our brain, we always have to have goals, right? And especially if you're an entrepreneur, right? Because it's a business, right? So you have to make money.
Yeah.
And so the way it is, right? But what I'm saying, it's like it doesn't have to be hard, right? Because the way life is a vibration, is a wave, right? And so there's always ups and downs in life, right? Like the Disney version, they will get married and be happily ever after. It's not possible. There's always ups and downs, as you guys knows, in life, right? And so, so since you're gonna have some what I call resistance, it's just to get rid of the resistance that you encounter in the path of you achieving your goal. Like that, it makes your life easier. Because why people quit? It's because it's become too hard. That's simple. Why it's become too hard? Because their mind, if you want, their thought, their emotion, their behavior, and therefore their action are not in alignment.
People don't want hard, though. They want easy, don't they? And I went through this the other day with somebody. It was just a stupid thing on Facebook, but it was about how you produce a comedy show that sells out. And I just gave 3 ingredients that I thought were required for that, a minimum requirement for that. And somebody said, it sounds so easy. Like people, they want easy, number one. They're seeking out easy. So when you say it's not hard, I think anything that...
It doesn't have to be hard. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
It doesn't have to be hard.
I think anything worthwhile, having in life, I think can't be easy. If it's easy, it's not worthwhile.
But that's a part of the programming. That's a part of your programming, man, because we say, like, for example, I'm going to give you like 2 different cultures, right? In south of France, if you say, you know what, I've got a job, it's just a job, but I've got free time, so I can be with my family, I can enjoy, all that, and people go say, oh yeah, you understand very well in life. And after, if I go to Paris or New York or things like that, I say, you know what, I don't care about, making money, what I want to have free time, and they're going to call you a loser. So that's a part of the conditioning that we have. You have to work hard and play hard. Says who? People who want you to play hard and work hard. So it doesn't have to be I'm not saying that, you can have the same satisfaction of accomplishing a goal, right? But in the same time, you're gonna raise your clarity, your focus, and your confidence, right? And so it doesn't mean that if there's no benefits, because I understand the benefits of hard work, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. That's a preconceived idea. That's a programming that we have. Now, if you use mind clearing, what happens each step of the way, you're going to clear your mind. You're going to have more clarity, focus, and confidence, right? Which you cannot dissociate personal development and professional development, especially if you're an entrepreneur. When your best asset is yourself. So here's the reality. If you look at the stat, 80% of our mind are negative. 95% of our mind are repeating the same things that we did the day before. We've got 40 to 60,000 for the day. So good luck with peace of mind. Why? Because we always want, all our energy goes to our head. We are too much in our head. And what we want to resolve problem. That's why we are conditioned to resolve problem. But a problem is not a positive thing, right? And guess what? When there's a problem that has been resolved, there's another problem and another problem and another problem. So we caught up on that spinning wheel, right? Always, going nowhere and thinking so many negative thoughts and not having peace of mind. And that shut down our heart, right? And so we get disconnected from our present because we are either in the past or in the future.
Now, I'm going to attempt to, Matt, I think I'm going to attempt to speak for you.
Okay.
Because
before you do, it just occurred to me I probably shouldn't have eaten that 1,000-millimeter gummy last night. But go ahead.
When you said, I think if I understood you correctly, you had said that in order to work, if it's worth having, if it's worth having, you have to work hard for it.
Well,
now, I'm thinking
anything. You're paraphrasing, but what I said to make it a little bit clearer, nothing worth having comes easy. That's what basically.
Okay, now I was thinking that perhaps that what you're actually thinking was that it's because if you were to inherit, let's say $100 million because of an uncle, you wouldn't turn it down, and that would be relatively easy. But I'm thinking that what you're actually thinking is, if you're going to truly appreciate it, you had to work hard for it, as opposed to just
you have to work for it. I understand. You have to work
if you work for it, it's like working for your first car as opposed to someone giving you your first car.
That's exactly why I turned down that $50 million that my uncle left me from Nigeria this
You
morning.
were so right.
Yeah,
but because if he inherited, he did nothing, right? He didn't work for nothing. So it's something that's coming out of the blue. I think the main question is like, okay, if we work harder, do we get more satisfaction? And yes, we do, right? But also the other coin, if you flip the coin and the other part of the coin, it's like, well, if you work too hard, you may quit and not getting it. You see what I mean? And so in the same time, when you have to take action, the main problem that people have, it's like they live a fantasy in their head. So they say, I wish I could do this and that. They never take action. Most of the people, they've got some very good idea, but they don't take action.
Yeah.
Right. And so in order to experience and to have benefits in this world, you need to act on it. It has to become physical. Right. That's how we learn our lesson. Right. If it's still our mind, it's a fantasy and it will never happen. That's an entertaining in your mind, right? But you're stuck there. So it's so important to take action. So in your case, that example you gave, he didn't take action. He just received, right? He didn't give, if you want. So there's no energy exchange, right? And so what I'm saying is like, in order for you to making a pleasurable, it doesn't mean that you're not going to put lots of hours. It doesn't mean that, but the ride can be much smoother. Right? The ride can be more enjoyable. And why not? Right? Yeah. Because in the same time, the benefits are tremendous because you're going to evolve, you're going to grow as a human being.
Yeah,
right? Because all the resistance that were all those programs and resistance that were in your mind, they are deleted.
Yeah.
So life becomes much easier. And the problem is not what's really happening in your life because we judge it's positive or negative. It's how you react to it. and more you are centered as a human being, right? More you are neutral to everything, the easier life becomes. Yeah. And that's a concept that we have problem, Westerners, to understand that, because like for example, in this country, when I come, they say, "Oh, did you have fun? Did you enjoy yourself? Was it fun?" I say, "Yeah, okay, I had fun." Right? And so when you go very high, you're going to go very low. That's the law of nature.
My pendulum thing yesterday.
That's the law of nature. It's a law of rhythm, right? And so high, very low. And so yes, you can have fun. I'm not saying you cannot have enthusiasm, but if you get stuck on that enthusiasm, after the fall is gonna be it's gonna be bad, right? And so you can experience emotion, right? But you still want to go to a place where you are more neutral, when you are more centered, right? And after you can be more the observer of your life, and you don't get too much involved with your emotion, right? You're not a fight and flight human being that's going to react to everything that goes very right and very wrong. You become more mature, if you want.
Well, thank you for going to the emotional, because I'm a highly emotional guy, and sometimes, even though my mind might come up with the right decision, the right behavior in the right moment, my emotions sometimes override that, and I will say, "Get off my shit," whatever I said. But are they necessarily connected? The idea of a clear mind and being in control of your emotions.
Yeah, that's what I say. They have to be aligned. So you have to create like a positive thought. You have to have supportive emotion, right? And take have a desirable behavior and take action. Let me give you an example. Imagine a triangle, and inside the triangle, you've got the limiting belief. For example, I'm a loser, right? When you were young, your dad told you repeatedly, "Oh, you're such a loser, son of a gun." And so anyway, so the limiting belief is I'm a loser. So on the top of a triangle, which is your thought, you're going to think I'm a loser. On the right side of a triangle, which represent your emotion, you're going to feel like a loser, right? And on the left base of your triangle, you're going to behave like a loser. So you're going to have loser result. And because you've got loser result, you're going to feel even more that you are a loser. And you're going to think, "Man, I knew I was a loser, but such a loser." And that's going to reinforce that programming that run behind the scene. I call that the subconscious stress loop. And they are dictating our behavior. That's the problem. Why, for example, I always give that example of a little girl. Let's pretend there's a little girl that see her dad is an alcoholic, come back every night and beat up his wife. Why do you think that little girl's going to attract more likely down the road when she's involved in a romantic relationship? What do you think?
I don't know. I can't get past the French accent in little girls. I'm expecting Maurice Chevalier.
Yeah, Maurice Chevalier. Yeah. Thank you, Evan.
Oh, boy,
I forgot my hat. I'm sorry, I forgot my hat.
They get larger every day.
No, but this is I know, guys, but this is so important, man.
Yeah.
And when you understand that those programs are dictating your life, because more than likely she's going to attract somebody the same like his dad.
I remember
right?
once I did stand up and I shouted, "I'm a winner," and I can't remember why that was. But I don't think I don't know. Maybe that voice.
But did you think like a winner? Did you feel like a winner? Did you behave like a winner? Did you?
I think
winner.
In his case, he probably felt like a wiener.
That happens often.
You know him pretty well, right?
Unfortunately, he's my psychiatrist. Anyway, you know what? I appreciate all the stuff, but again, I do think I do have a problem managing my emotions, not necessarily my thoughts. Once I'm in a calm state of mind, I can come up with a good rational decision. But I am a very emotional person. I think the audience will attest to that. They've seen me lose my cool pretty quick over stuff I get emotional about. So that's the number one. Can that be a limiting belief to change me to tell myself I'm not an emotional person? Just to get rid of that belief, make me less emotional.
We all have like some trait or personality, right, and some self-identity. But it doesn't mean that we cannot smoother it, right? That you become less reactive now, right? And so I will ask you, for example, in your case, so visualize that you are see yourself being super emotional, right? And whatever emotion it is, right? And so let's delete that and visualize. So that will be like different emotion that that we identified previously, or maybe it's anger, maybe it's like whatever emotion.
Anger seems to be the big one.
It always is, right? And so and we do that, and so after what I will ask you, okay, we do that first treatment, and after I will ask you, okay, if you get angry again, you write down your circumstances, because those are your trigger or your resistance. I will treat that specific circumstances until the anger lessen down. Having zero anger, it doesn't make sense, because we need to react. Sometimes anger is a good thing, right, to do, but you want to be more in control of those negative emotion, right?
Yeah. Well, all it takes is somebody telling me I've been brainwashed by the liberals for me to go.
You know what? I'm glad you got ass raped in fucking prison. You're a fucking dick.
That's a recent example of me getting emotional and losing control and not being in control of my thoughts and letting rational thought take over. Me reacting to a guy who told me, "I'm glad you've been brainwashed by the liberals," and then that was my response. So that's typical. And for me to change that quickly, I even change it at all before I die. This is my limiting belief. I think it's almost impossible at this point. It's too, like an old dog, new tricks.
Yeah, but the old dog is in your subconscious mind. It's not what you're elaborating now. It's a program in your subconscious mind, and that's guaranteed. And of course, like any program, can be changed. Of course. Now you may think that you cannot change, and that's legit. Of course, that's what you think. That's if you don't want to change that, nobody can. We cannot change people. They have to be willing to change and say this is too much. You usually people start to change when the pain is too much.
I have to ask my
tired of this,
psychiatrist.
and that's the motivation, right? And
TD,
so after,
you know me
they
better
are
than
more
I know
open to
myself.
change.
Do I really want to? I think I really want to change that. Do I? Do I really want
Well, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
what I really want? No, you're never going to get it. I don't know. Is that even the same song? That's not the same song.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. We're about out of time, man. I know this has not been the best promotion for what you do, but I hope people will follow. You know what? I'm certain any women out there are going to say, "Yeah, I just want to talk to this guy. Get me his number."
Well, Sunshine in Governor's site says, "Thanks for reminding me that I'm in control."
Oh, good. See, so you got through to Sunshine. I can't get through to Sunshine. Sunshine seems like she's always on my shoulders.
Does it make you happy?
Yeah. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Listen, we got the links in the description. Hope people will go and find out more about what it is that you're offering, and maybe we'll get some more clear minds around here. That's always a good thing. So
and I really appreciate just speaking your truth, right? I think it's very important. But it's not about convincing people. It's like some people who need help. Well, the problem, if they were not able to resolve their problem, it's one, they have not been able to identify what the cause of their problem, or number two, they don't know how to fix it. Right. And the mind clearing goes really to the root cause of our issue, because the mind is everything. That's how we perceive the world. That's how we see ourselves and others.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being here. We hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Have a great day, and bye for now. Bye. Dr. Alan Salas. I want to make sure I say that. Am I saying that right, Doc? My psychiatrist here. Elaine. Am I saying it right? Do you think I'm
Dr. Salas?
Dr. Salas. All right. Interesting stuff there. I don't know. What'd you get out of that?
It's similar to a lot of the other positive affirmations. Basically, your thought Your deed follows your thought, kind of. Now I'm oversimplifying.
Is it like is it manifestation? Because
in a sense, but it's I think it's manifestation meets biofeedback.
Biofeedback.
Biofeedback. No. If you have biofeedback, try Good Brew, bro.
There you go. Good Brew. We'll get your biofeeding back in a second. I feedbacked in my diaper. Why can't I just get to one show as an adult? Because I can't even start as an adult. So there you go. I don't know. It's all so simple. Why couldn't you come up with a Clouseau line? We needed a Clouseau line. Didn't we need you kiss me, you fool? Oh,
I didn't know we were looking for a Clouseau line.
Well, with that accent, come on, we need Clouseau. I was
trying to think of a Marcel line, to be honest.
I got one for you. Yeah. I don't know. I can't go. Is there not a single Clouseau line that is like a cliche? Boy, what's wrong with me? It's like a Hoarders. I'll get it tonight. Anyway, yeah. So I'm sure AI is going to have the Opus AI cutting up that clip with the accent should be interesting, and seeing the captions, what the captions actually say. For that stuff,
I think that's the only way you hit all those B's, because you're thinking, what's Opus going to do with that?
Yeah. Well, no, the B's are for StreamYard. So on the line, so I forget. Oh, because he said that. I don't know if you know this about me, but
right.
It's like the French Willie era. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see how it chops that up. We are awaiting Robert Gantz for our next guest. Do you want to listen to news or not? You know what? People aren't drawing this analogy in the news. Maybe it's just me, because I have a cluttered hoarder type mind and full of limiting beliefs. The Trump thing yesterday. Did you see the Trump thing with the new numbers and the charts? It came. We have new numbers. He brought it kind of like a kindergarten chart presentation up in front of the room with these new charts. We got all the new numbers. He just said, "Get me some good numbers. Put it on the chart." It reminded me very clearly of redrawing the the hurricane thing.
Oh yeah,
with the Sharpie, and it's like the people are still falling for this stuff. Like, he's just making up his numbers, and that I'm going to show you some charts, and now you believe me that.
Well, the thing is, it's not even a matter of people falling for it. It just puts it out there, and it gets repeated. And it doesn't matter if if it gets repeated as a lie or as a truth. People hear the numbers, and they accept the numbers, and it becomes their numbers.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the numbers as opposed to the reality. And the reality is, he's doing a bad job. He sucks at it, and he doesn't want to focus. He doesn't want us to pay attention to it. That's the reality. So he just says, that's like being with a woman, and you have a micro penis, and the woman's going like, "You have a micro penis?" She goes, "No, it's really big where I come from. It's huge. It's just small. It's just small to you because you have such a huge cavernous vagina. But I'm pretty sure this is not a micro penis,
Whoa, this is a whole new. You're blowing my mind with this penis vagina soliloquy. It's not a monologue. It's not a vagina monologue. It's the micro penis cavernous vagina. I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that. Anyway,
well, I'm just saying that the reason why weathermen created real feel is because it's a man thing. A woman will say it's 75 degrees, and damn it feels like 75 degrees. And a man goes, it's 75 degrees, but it really feels like 80. It really feels like 80. I know it's not.
The whole thing. We have to fire the weatherman because we don't like his numbers. But
well, he'll do that next. There'll be a category 5 hurricane, and it's going to wipe everything out. It's going to say, we need to fire the people at OSHA because, in my opinion, it was only a category 1.
Yeah. I think I can close out. Yeah, and let's redraw the path to go directly over wherever we wanted to go over. And why did we want it to go over Alabama or whatever? I don't know why.
Because who knows? I can't even remember why the man thinks the way he thinks, if he thinks at all.
Let me just, our guest is here, our next guest is here, but I want to kind of share this really quickly if I can, because it definitely has. I'm still looking at Dr. Elaine Salas over there. Where are they? What the hell am I, GD? Do you know where I am? Have you seen me?
I thought you were in your garage.
Yeah, sort of. So here he is. Tell me this doesn't remind you. I mean, he's just picking up cards and like saying, we had the fake numbers, but now we have the new numbers. And I drew it on a card for you. It's just, this is the exact same thing. It's just like, give me my Sharpie. I'm going to change the direction of the hurricane.
Well, the only thing different is that he doesn't have anybody standing behind him. Now, usually he has people standing behind him to give him some kind of credence.
Yeah. I don't know. That's it. And he's just shuffling cards around. But he just went, to somebody, go make me up some cards that look good, some fake numbers on there. And I can stop sharing this, but this is the question that boggles my mind. If you're working for a guy and he says, go make up some numbers that make it look like I'm right and they're wrong, do you not question your
I was fired I was fired from a job because I would not do something that was immoral. And in order for me to keep my job, I had to do something immoral and possibly illegal, to be honest. And he says, my boss says, so are you a lawyer now? I said, no, but I'm not going to do it. Even if it was, I'm not going to do it. And so, because, okay, well, you're gone too. And they fired me.
Wow.
And I was good at my job, but I was also very devastated. I was devastated.
Well, but that was going to be the question, because knowing you did it for the morally right reason, you did it to live up to your principles. Were you devastated just because of the income? Because I would have think you'd be walking away proud of yourself. That you know what?
Well, I was proud of the fact that I did that, but I was still, I needed the income. Yeah, I had car notes, I had bills.
I'm sure these people who work for him are in the same position, but I don't know. I would think that's a good thing to put on your resume. I'm the guy who would not falsify numbers.
But in their position, okay, for example, I lost my job as a store manager. I walk out of there, my first option is unemployment. If you worked for the White House and you get fired because you're doing your job and you're standing up to them, you walk out, you have a book deal.
Yeah.
Okay, you get 30 feet off the grounds and you have a book deal. You're not going to go broke. You're not going to starve. You're going to be on television show after television show. You're going to do just fine. The only thing you're going to have is that his friends are going to not like you anymore. Absolutely. And you're not going to be invited to the cool kids parties anymore.
Yeah.
But if you care about what you stand for, it's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you get that old-fashioned book deal where they give you an advance and everything. It's not like the new fangled book deals. You get a real book deal, you'd be well taken care of. Probably as much as you make in the White House as whatever you do.
Right. Book deal, maybe a movie deal, because who knows what else you've seen up close. Once you've been inside, you've seen all kinds of crazy stuff.
Me, I've never been.
And
we're still on like 15 minutes. Are we that delayed? I'm looking at YouTube right now, and we're still in the middle of this conversation about French accents, which is very weird. Let's move on.
No, I think maybe your YouTube, you've hit pause on it or something. Because on mine, I'm pretty much like 30 seconds behind on the YouTubes, and I have two YouTube windows open, and they're both about 30 seconds behind.
Wow. All right. Speaking of crimes, now I'm not going to say our guest is a criminal. This is a fictional. He's got a book out. It's a novel, but it feels like, and this is where it gets a little. The main he's a cinematographer, and the main character is a washed-up cinematographer who ends up in some legal trouble, and it becomes a murder mystery, but it's also about sex trafficking. Now I saw you got aroused when I said sex trafficking. You were like, what? It's like go this way, sex go that way. I don't know, sex trafficking.
I just want to, we're talking about morality real quick, and Mr. Tail from Slaptail Squad, unfortunately, morality is subjective. I left many medical positions because I felt the facility was lacking in morality and doing what I considered unethical and lacking in morality. Money focused, fraudulent, not in the best interest of the patients. You get it?
Yeah, so like the entire American medical system. Right? I'm sorry. I mean, that's what that sounds like. This money focused, whatever. I don't know. That's you know what, Mr. Bieberman. If you would like to come on and talk about that subject someday, I'm always open to talking about what's wrong with the medical system. Anyway, why is he saying that meme? Is that what his response is?
Right. Right. He's saying that's not him. He's not. Yeah.
My heart stopped for a minute. I thought he was calling me a motherfucker. And like, what is he, Samuel L. Jackson all of a sudden? Anyway, let's move on. After decades behind the camera on major film and television sets, veteran cinematographer Robert Gantz, known for his work on Disturbia, Rambo, Prison Break, and more, steps into the spotlight with Dead Wings. It is the first book, a nonfiction book about a cinematographer who ends up in a murder mystery and a sex trafficking thing and a whole bunch of weird kinky stuff, which is kind of based on the reality he knows in Hollywood. Let's say good morning to Robert.
Well, it's right what you know.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, wow, that's an was that intro just put you to sleep? I'm sorry. Are you still in LA, by the way? Are you out on the West Coast?
No, I left LA right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if we got you up too early. I don't know. It just seemed that was and not to kind of be confrontational. That was the least enthusiastic welcome. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, the book, Dead Wings. How much of it is real?
Almost none of it is actually real, but it is based on certain characters and certain people that I know in LA. It's a conglomeration of several things that happened, and it's basically, for me, it was a noir novel that I always wanted to write. And though I can't say that I knew exactly what it was going to be when I started out, I really enjoyed writing it because it was something that, sometimes you have something you want to do in your life and then you do it. And that makes it kind of, fulfilling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so is it real people? No. Are there some real places in it? Absolutely. It's, I know LA pretty well, and I used LA as a character in it also. So that was it.
One of the things that caught my eye writing a synopsis there was the part that a cinematographer has an agent. I never thought of that. Like, I just thought cinematographers would just, directors knew who they wanted to work with. They called them up directly. Not the agent part kind of confused me. Is that how Hollywood works? Cinematographers that have agents in their cast like actors?
Absolutely.
Really?
They all have agents now.
Wow.
I mean, because it's competitive to try to get a good cinematographer if you're a producer. So you need to work through an agent. You need to work out a deal of how much you're going to pay them. And some cinematographers will be fielding a lot of offers. When I started out, I was doing a lot of commercials. I could get 4 or 5 offers at the same time. So my agent would weed through them and get me the best deal.
Wow. Now, for the edification of simpletons like me, What's the difference between a cinematographer and a director of photography?
Same thing. Exactly the same thing.
Why do they? Because I think there are two different awards in some of them. No,
It's one award. Like there's an award in the Academy Awards for cinematography. But what your position is, you're a director of photography.
Okay. That's always been confusing to me. Like, because why do some people get called a director of photography, and why do some people get called a cinematographer? The main character, your protagonist, is a washed up. What does that What does that mean? I mean, can you be on the outs with Hollywood? Like, we don't like your work anymore?
Oh yeah, that can definitely happen, and that happens a lot. Because as is alluded to in the book, it's not necessarily based on your talent. It's also based on your attitude.
Right.
And, a lot of it is work comes from how well you get along with people. And, because most people just want to work with people they like. They don't really necessarily care about their talent level. And especially in cinematography, because a lot of people don't even know what good cinematography is. They watch a show and they have no idea. They're following the story and the actors.
That is definitely true. It's a difference between, there are some movies that have a really stunning visual effect, and right away people will say, I love the cinematography on that. But movies that are more story-based, human interaction stuff, it's kind of like you don't notice the cinematography of it. And I think that's kind of like the umpire's job in baseball. Again, that analogy, if you notice the umpire is not doing his job well, if you're paying attention to the cinematography, you're not paying attention to the story in the film and all that stuff. So I think if you're noticing the cinematography too much, he's not doing his job.
Well, I just finished working with on a pilot with some people, and the cinematographer, one of the things that he working in a room, and to make sure that when we change angles, like we're shooting everything from the pulpit toward the altar, and then we're changing it from the altar to the pulpit, and he gets out his little
light meter.
Yeah, light meter. I was didn't know what to call. I was great called a Luma something.
Looking at your hand, I'm like, well, that looks
like and to make sure that it's the same, the same kind of continuity, and even though the sun outside shifted, now the shadows using if we went with natural sunlight, the shadows would be wrong because we took hours shooting this, and the shadows would have moved, and so we've covered all the windows and put lighting from the outside. So now we've created our own sunlight from the outside so that the shadows are all in, even though it took us several hours, it's like the sun hadn't moved.
No, I know. Believe me, that's one of the big challenges, is try to keep continuity, to try to keep the look consistent. Though there is a bit of leeway there. There's a lot of things that people don't notice, but as a cinematographer, you try to make it, when you, as we call it, turn around, so you look the way you were shooting from, you try to make it look the same as it did on the other side. And there's a lot of things you can do to cheat. But if you're shooting like in a church and you have big windows, you may want to use your own big lights rather than rely on the sun.
Yeah. Now the book touches on issues like sex trafficking, which is a phrase that has been it's overused now in culture. I can't go through a day without hearing that phrase, sometimes multiple times in a day. The Hollywood angle of it, we've heard in my entire life about casting couches and all that stuff, but sex trafficking means something more than just like casting couches. What is without getting specific and giving any, what is the reality of that phrase and its relevance to Hollywood today? Sex trafficking in Hollywood. What do we?
Well, I honestly, this is something that I did research on, but I have no personal knowledge of it. It was just what I was doing was trying to create a scenario where the people that Cameron was faced with were actually really evil. And the thing that I couldn't really think of anything worse than sex trafficking. And so I did some research and found out some stuff, but none of that is based on anything I know firsthand. It's just based on something, there was a lot of prostitution in Los Angeles in the 90s. It's less now from what I mean, I don't know. It's not as obvious like it was back then. When you drive down Sunset Boulevard, when I first moved out to LA in the 80s, in the early 80s, and the hookers would be lined up just everywhere. And that's not the case now. But I just figured that I wanted these people who Cameron was coming up against to be pretty evil. And I couldn't really think of anything more evil than that. And the truth is there's several murders in the book. And it seemed like if people were going to kill people, it should be for some sort of heinous reason.
Right.
And that's and so that's how that came around. I can't really tell you much about sex trafficking.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about it. I just know what I researched.
I'm just wondering what it really means, because I think there is a big difference between sex trafficking and what we thought of as the old Hollywood casting couch and all that kind of stuff. Prostitution is, and whether it's willing or unwilling prostitution, and how that works its way into the film industry. Is it an industry-wide thing or just a city-wide cultural thing? And just to one quick comment on why it seems less visible now. They're off the streets and they're on the internet, right? So you don't see them lined up. But yeah. So I mean, do you think it's a film industry cultural thing, or do you think it's a city cultural thing?
Well,
yes,
that's an interesting question. Probably both, but also probably something that takes place throughout the United States. People, if you're inclined to do those things, then I guess you will. But in the story, it's actually not the main subject. It's peripheral to the story about Cameron Davis and about how he's struggling in Los Angeles to survive with very little. Now that he's offended pretty much everyone in the business, so he can't get a job. And like you were speaking about saying the truth and getting fired, well, that's the kind of things that he did. He would say the truth, or he would tell someone what he felt, and that's not acceptable there. So he would therefore get kicked out, and the reputation would get known, and now he's stuck because he doesn't have any money, he doesn't have any prospects. And he's basically, I think he just wants to, the thing he wants the most is a job, but I don't think that's going to happen for him.
Yeah. Is there a blacklisting in like that?
It's not obvious blacklisting, but there is. I know cinematographers. I know that might have been, I'm not going to be specific, but were caught doing things that they shouldn't do while working.
Wow.
And therefore were blacklisted for several years. Wow. Until eventually they were able to get back in through people helping them. But yeah, people get blacklisted all the time. It's never said, but it's true.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to applaud you prematurely because I haven't read the book, on the sense that because your world was cinematography, that you did not make it your protagonist had some footage that he could use to blackmail someone else. Because that would be so cliche that he would have got, well, I shouldn't say cliche, but that all he has footage and he was using it for income or to blackmail, or that he was involved in the drug trafficking, not the sex trafficking, or he started making snuff films. Was it blow? No. In other words, you had him like going away from everything he knew and starting fresh,
well, he basically, he's like you said, he's blacklisted. He's on the outs in the business. He really would like a job. And as a result of not working, he does fall into doing drugs and drinking excessively. Makes him a very flawed character, which I think was important for this, because I find that people, when they're following a flawed character, they tend to root for him. And let me say this too, essentially, he's actually a good person. He is not an evil character by any means. I mean, maybe he has some small foibles that he has done, but he's basically a good guy. He's just fallen on hard times.
I think that kind of anti-hero, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's very attractive to people. And the hero is a flawed human being like me, so I can relate to him, but he's also better than me in some way.
Oh, Breaking Bad. Well, they also had good writing, but from their flawed human being perspective, Breaking Bad.
Good?
Yeah.
The word noir, that conjures up
Raymond Chandler.
The old Sam Spade detective stuff in my mind.
Yeah.
How do you approach that from because this is a modern day, it's not like in the past, right?
It's in the 90s. It takes place in the 90s.
Yeah, so how do you...
I wanted it to take place before cell phones.
What are the elements that make it noir, though? How would you define the elements that create noir?
Well, it is a broad... there is a broad definition for it, because when I watch noir movies on TV, some are kind of noir, but usually the most important thing is that there's a duplicitous character who's trying to get what they want, and essentially there needs to be a femme fatale. Because if there's no femme fatale, it's not noir.
Oh, I like it already.
So that to me is very important, that that you have a character that and I mean, usually in these things, a lot of times they're detective stories, but they're not always.
Right.
But there's always somebody's hiding something, and they're not being honest, and they're always there's always somebody who's trying to get over on others. That's, I guess, a noir thing. But I mean, there's also a style to it. I mean, I don't think that my book is anything like a Chandler novel or a Hammett novel or any of those, or a modern noir, like I would say Dennis Lehane and William Kennedy. These guys are, this is like the top of writing of.
Just from the genre perspective, the book in Amazon is listed in mystery, thriller, and suspense, thrillers and suspense, and crime novel. I would have thought mystery is where I would look for it, but I don't think they have one for noir in books. But there you go. The transition from behind the lens to behind a paper. Behind a typewriter, I guess. We were talking about that, the sensory aspects of mind and how people's minds work, just on the first segment here. Is that a difficult transition from you being the guy with the lens looking through, getting the right visual aspect of it, to being behind a typewriter and you having to use words to create those images now rather than a camera?
Well, yes. I mean, it's difficult in the fact that you're trying to do something you haven't done before. At least I hadn't done before. However, they do come from the same sort of part of your brain. They're both creative pursuits. When you go onto a film set and you are a cinematographer, every day you're creating a new environment, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty amazing experience. You get to go in and you get to say, okay, we're going to make this look dark and moody. We're going to make it bright and sunny. Are we going to use certain compositions that enhance the story? And so that's that. But as a writer, I mean, it's a lot different, but it's also the same. You're using your creative juices to create something.
Gotcha.
And
But one of the I think key differences, and you can correct me if I have this wrong, is like when you come onto a set, you're working with the director. Director's saying we want to make this shot look dark and gloomy or whatever. You have that, and when you get behind a typewriter, you are both director and cinematographer. You're giving yourself what does this scene call for. Is that a fair
well,
assessment?
it's yes, it's a fair assessment. I would agree. However, on the movie sets, directors may make suggestions about lighting and composition, and some of the best ones do, but other ones will just let you do what you want to do from that standpoint, and they direct the actors.
Wow.
And they'll direct the action, but they won't direct the lighting nor the composition. But you're correct about when you sit down, and this is one of the great things about it, there's nobody there to tell you what to do in terms of writing. You get to write what you want. You get to create the scene that you want. You get to go in this direction or that direction. Nobody's there to tell you, and that's totally liberating.
Right. Now, well, obviously this is your first novel, but had you done any blogging, journaling, any of that as writing as an exercise before taking this on?
Not since college.
Wow. So difficult, or I mean,
well, yeah, very difficult. And also, I was shooting a lot at that time. I was working a lot, so between a job, I'd pick it up, and then I'd get a job, and then I'd put it down for 3 months, and then pick it up again, and then another job. So that was difficult too. It was hard to get on a roll. And finally, I basically pretty much retired from the business and decided that now I have the chance to finish it.
Well, good for you. I mean, the word retired sounds just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Many people strive for that. I don't know what to say. People, are you retired? Well, I'm retired, but I'm still working.
Yeah, that's kind of what I say.
Yeah. Most of the authors, and even if they deny it, I say all the authors that I've interviewed, 3,000 authors, they want their book to be, especially if they're fiction, right? And they want to make it into a movie. And most of them have no idea how to start. Do you have an advantage there on getting this? Because first of all, interesting stories and good ideas don't seem to be that easy to find in Hollywood, or maybe they're just overlooking them on purpose. But do you have a better shot at getting this made to a movie?
Well, I'm hoping so eventually, but right now I'm trying to just get the book seen and for people to read it. And then if it can get some momentum going, then I will send it to some friends in Hollywood and see what they think about, trying to sell it as a movie idea. I think it would work great honestly, as a limited series. It would be perfect. Because there's all these different sort of events that happen in, and they could be separated out, and then the next event, and there's enough murders that you can end enough episodes with a murder, which is always good.
That's an interesting trend too. We're going to what might have been initially thought of a good movie project. Let's make it a 8-part series on Netflix or something like that. That's a whole different trend.
Well, I think you have more likelihood of it being seen, actually, because movies, there's not a lot of them being made, not like there used to be, and a lot of them, they go straight to Netflix or whoever, or streaming right away. I like the idea. I mean, some of the best entertainment that I've seen in recent years has been in streaming series, and some of them have been amazing, really tremendous. So
I would agree. It's kind of because it just seems like Hollywood doesn't really, and you would know this better than me, but it doesn't feel like the industry, the whatever that means, cares about stories. They care about things that they know are redeemable, clearly cashing in on whatever, superheroes and Marvel comic books and that kind of stuff. Things that are easy to cash in, and but not necessarily great stories. They're very simplistic stories. So it's almost a discouragement to write a good story, right? Are they trying to kill good stories?
I mean, don't get me started on amusement park movies, because that's basically, they're like amusement park rides. They're not stories, and the stories are usually pretty weak. And when I got into Hollywood because of the movies in the 70s. Those were the movies that inspired me when I was a young man to go into Hollywood. I mean, The Godfather, Raging Bull, and so many of those, like a movie. I don't know if you know this movie, but it's a movie called The King of Marvin Gardens. And actually, Jack Nicholson's in it, and so is Bruce Dern. And it's a movie that I guess takes place in the mid 70s or whatever, and Atlantic City hasn't come back yet, and they're living there. I don't want to get into the story, but it's a movie about people. It's smart, it's intelligent, and you don't see those movies made anymore. And this was made by a big studio, because the studios in the 70s would make movies like this. You can't get close to them with a movie like this anymore.
Yeah.
Bob Raffleson was the director. That's right.
In terms of the book, has it been, first of all, how long has it been out? I don't know, June 17th, so it hasn't been out that long. Have you defined the audience? I mean, and did you do that in advance? Like a lot of authors will do that. I'm writing for soccer mom, whatever.
Right, I understand. Yeah, I totally. I was writing it for me, but the truth is that it will probably appeal to men who like. It's not a book for women, I don't think. I mean, maybe some women will like it. My daughter liked it, but that doesn't count. And
I just want to say your daughter counts.
Okay, but. Yeah, I think that the audience is predominantly male and probably older, because I don't know how many young people even read right now.
Well, my surprise is that, first of all, I think how many people read. I think less men read than women read. But I also
I agree.
Feel like women love mystery. And listen, I hate to be like, no, I'm sounding like I'm overgeneralizing, but women like romance novels, but they also love crime stories and mysteries and stuff. This is why those true life documentaries, crime documentary series on Netflix are so popular with ladies. They love that stuff. So I would have thought this book would be very popular with them. But yeah, I guess you don't know for like months and months. A couple of months isn't enough time.
It has to build momentum, and then we'll see.
Yeah. As far as all the publishing, are you disappointed with the publishing? And this publishing industry is pretty corrupt. I don't know how much you've learned about it yet. I was in a marketing capacity for a publisher for a long time, and it just seemed, because it's so competitive, there's a lot of tricks and stuff. Have you been dismayed by, I mean, coming from Hollywood and seeing all the behind the scenes stuff there, as a publishing industry just as dirty or even dirtier?
Well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I would believe that that it's who you know. If you know someone in a publishing place and you have a decent novel, you have a much better chance of getting it published. If you come in cold and nobody knows you and you have no reputation, you have almost zero shot.
Right.
Unless you're, D.H. Lawrence or somebody who can write insanely good. But this is not, again, this is one of the things I like to say. This is not literature. This is a thriller, hopefully a fun read and a quick read. It's not, there's no pretense about this being literature. It's certainly not.
I appreciate that, you expressing it that way. Yeah, I feel like there's a certain snobbiness about the term literature where I don't feel like you can judge anything like, well, oh, this is literature. This is not. If it's an enjoyable read, it could still be literature and still be an enjoyable, fun read.
Yeah.
but I get that. There is a certain snobbiness to this pretense of labels that we put on stuff. Did you, in making the transition? I'm assuming you just sat down one day and said, I'm going to write a book. Did you seek out like line editors and copy editors, or did you do it all on your own?
I did it all on my own.
Wow.
I did my own editing. I mean, you have tools now that it didn't have when I started writing it, but you have things like Grammarly, which you can use to correct your grammar or punctuation mostly. So that's good. So you don't necessarily need a copy editor anymore. I feel sorry for them with AI because a lot of people use AI to write, which I did not. And so if they use that, then you kind of put these people out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, I think AI is putting a lot of people out of business.
Unfortunately,
if it gets better, it'll even put more people out of business.
Yeah. People keep denying that. It's so weird how when it comes to AI, because just yesterday we were talking about the people saying that AI is not going to take any blue collar jobs, will be the last one it takes. And being as somebody who used to market for a robotics company, I knew the impact that company was having on blue collar people for the last 15 years using AI that wasn't as sophisticated as it is today. So I think those manufacturing, packaging, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and the creative arts too now jobs are being eliminated because of AI.
Oh, completely. Or certainly downsized because AI can do things so much quicker than a person could do. So instead of having 3 people doing the design for this, you have one and AI.
Yeah.
Well, AI will not replace gaffers.
Yeah. Well, no, it won't because they have to physically move those lights.
Yes, yeah. That to physically move the lights, physically move the cables, physically just we were running cables and we didn't have cables long enough for electricity, so we had like 4 extension cords, so we can get the lighting where we wanted. And then we had a brief shower. I mean, you could see it coming in the distance, and so we had all these exposed joints. And so I ran out and I cut up a bunch. We didn't have any plastic to wrap them, so I cut up a bunch of empty water bottles because everybody's drinking water, and I made the water bottles, cut them up, and put them around the sockets so that they wouldn't get wet when the rain ran down.
Very creative.
And I don't think that AI would have known to cut up plastic bottles with scissors to protect the sockets.
The thing is, every time we talk anything film or production-wise,
really.
GD likes to say the word gaffer. I think it's he writes that down. Make sure you say the word gaffer.
I was an assistant gaffer on the production, or I was an ass gaff, as we say in the business. Yeah, that's an official term in the business. I was an ass gaff.
It's a credit that most people see, and they have no idea what the gaffer actually does. Oh, I see gaffer as listed in the credits. What does that guy actually do? Most people have no clue what that really entails.
Or key grips. They don't know what key grips do either.
Right. Well, gaffer very briefly sets the lights that the photographer or cinematographer wants. So he tells them where, and then he powers them up. The gaffer with his crew, and the key grip is in charge of camera support. So he does the dollies, he does the cranes, anything the camera goes on, that's him. And also controlling the light. And so the light will go up, it'll be going everywhere. He'll set these things called flags that basically control the light. It's kind of boring if I want to talk about it all the time for all the way through, but that's basically what the key grips and the gaffer do.
Yeah. Now, in your new role, I guess, new profession as an author or a published author, are you doing any old school brick and mortar type events, book signings and any of that kind of stuff, or have you done any of that stuff?
I haven't yet, though. I do have a publicist, and they will be setting up various things for me.
I'm just wondering how those go. have a brick and mortar stores and bookstores.
Well, there's not as many as there used to be. There's still a few Barnes and Nobles left, but like the mom and pop stores are pretty much all gone.
Yeah.
I think the ones that are, at least in my neighborhood where I am, the ones that are still available, the ones that had enough space that they could put like a cafe in it as well. Right. So that people could like read and drink, or maybe even have like a book club there, a little meeting, or use their computer to research books that they want to write while they're in the Barnes and Noble, you know.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta present that to the TP kind of cafe thing. You know, people. Stoners don't read. They do read. Stoners read. I mean, this is. I know the book readers are a diminishing audience, but the stoners in the dispensaries definitely do read. You see them there all the time. That would be just a natural. Put the book in there and have it kind of. It used to be in libraries and places now, and it still should be in libraries. But putting it in weed dispensaries, it might be a good way to sell books, move more books.
After they do the comedy thing, thank you. No, I'm
still working on that. Yes, you know, but I appreciate that you're sharing this journey from cinematographer to author with us. I think it's a strange transition because it just seems like that's the glamorous life. That
no, cinematography is anything but glamour. Working on a film set is not glamorous.
Really?
No,
not at all.
No.
You end up sweating your butt off for 14 hours. Then you go home and you take a half an hour shower just to get the grime off, and then you go to bed. And the moment you wake up, you get dressed and you go back to work.
Yeah, I've done like video production for, you know, and hair and beauty industry. And like my body, people won't realize how beat up your body gets from holding a camera on your shoulder for 14 hours.
Especially the old cameras that we back when we used to do it, the cameras were like 20 pounds, it seems like.
Yeah.
And we didn't have things to steady the shot. We had to steady the shot.
Right, I remember.
What about adaptation of screenplay? Is that something you would do on your own, or would you? I don't know.
Well, it would depend. I mean, I could obviously do that, but it would just depend on how it comes about. Who wants to? If there's someone who wants to buy the rights, and if they want me involved, great. If they don't, well, I'm open to that too. It's not essential for me to do the screenplay in order for me to get a deal done. I just I would love to just find someone who will try to stay reasonably true to the story. There's probably some things that, I mean, there's one scene which I won't get into, which depending on the amount of money that you have for it, could cost quite a bit. And then that might have to be scaled down, like many things are in the film business, because of money.
Yeah, maybe
I think the conventional wisdom was you shoot a $1 scene for 75 cents, but make it look like $1.10,
right?
Or something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe, obviously, the talk about film production is a little premature. The book just came out 2 months ago. But one thing that is not probably premature is the book is out in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle. No audiobook yet. Is there an audiobook in the works?
No, not right now. I want to see see how this thing takes off, because I'd have to hire someone to do the audiobook, and right now I'm
I understand. I think it's almost essential. There are people who are actually releasing the audiobook before the hardcover and paperback now. This seems to be a strategy among publishers. I don't know why that works better, but I do feel like as people become lazier and more disconnected from sitting down or picking up books and sitting down and reading in a quiet place by themselves, audiobooks become
audiobooks are great, especially because people, when they're driving or commuting, they can just put it on and listen to it. Whereas, when with a hardcover book, you have to sit down and look at it, and devote a certain amount of time to it. And since everyone's basically multitasking these days, so yeah, it would be a great idea.
Yeah.
I will look further into it and see what it will actually take.
Yeah.
All right. So, Robert, I'm looking for some product placement for your book. So, let's say someone's on the beach and they're reading your book. What drink would you recommend to go with your book? We're looking for product placement. I want to say we're going to sell this book and we can sell this alcohol together.
Bourbon, right? It's got to be bourbon.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
We'll look for a bourbon
book.
We're going to find you a bourbon company to sponsor your book, so that when you do the commercials selling the book, it's you reading the book with a nice bourbon,
bottle of Makers,
bottle of bourbon right there. Sell the two together.
I was shocked the other day. I learned that Frank Sinatra, when he was waiting to go on, would have a bottle of Jack Daniels, a flask of Jack Daniels with him, clenching it hard like a stage fright. He didn't seem like a bourbon drinker or a sour mash drinker to me. I would have thought
I don't know. The guys back then, they drank a lot of whiskey. Whiskey was a very big thing back then. I mean, it wasn't until later on that more of these other alcohols became more important. I think vodka became important because it's perceived as having somewhat less caloric impact, but that's not necessarily true.
Yeah,
alcohol is alcohol.
Yeah,
depending on the proof, it has about the same amount of calories.
Because I know one of my idols, I guess, one of the people I modeled my life after, Don Imus, used to talk about crawling into a vodka bottle and never being able to get out. I mean, it's a lot of alcoholics finding themselves in the vodka bottle. But I think bourbon, we were talking about noir. I think bourbon is kind of almost like an essential element to a noir story.
Well, I mean, both of you came up with bourbon like instantly. As soon as I said that, you both went bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, the character drinks. That's his favorite drink is bourbon.
Yeah.
So that is definitely what I would perceive as.
So
that's the thing. So if you guys can get me a bourbon deal, I'll be very happy. I'll be very good.
You know what? That would be great. Yeah, sponsored by, or product inclusion, or especially when it finally does get to be a movie, like lots of product placement. Amazon.com. We have the short link to Amazon.com where you can get the book today. Go there and you can buy it in, as I mentioned, paperback, hardcover, and Kindle version. Robert, thank you for being on the program. We appreciate it. Well, good luck with the book. And are you waiting to see how this book does before you commit to saying, I'm an author and I'm going to keep writing books?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's probably the truth. I mean, I will continue to write books, but in order for me to say that I'm an author, it has to have some success.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm just doing a hobby.
Yeah. There's a lot of people doing that these days. I mean, but at least, you have the sense of reality around it. A lot of people don't have that sense of, I've done 2 open mics and I'm a comedian. That's not the way it works. You got to actually have, when you sell tickets.
Robert Ann out of Bakersfield, California says, good morning, and Dead Wings is an interesting title. I will take a bourbon on the rocks, please.
All right.
Right. It's early there too.
Yeah. So thank you for being part of the program. Good luck with the book, and we'll do what we can to help promote it and let people know about it. We'll put it in the newsletter, put it on the website, and hopefully we can help you sell 1 or 2 copies of the book.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thanks for being here. Have a great day. Bye for now. Robert Gantz, folks. Dead Wings is the name of the book. The link is in the description. Amazon.com.
I meant to ask, because maybe you asked it, because there was a couple of times when he would say something, I would look it up, because I was not familiar with the movie. Well, Marvin Gardens, King of Marvin Gardens. It's like, it sounded familiar, and I started to Google it while he was talking. So did y'all, in a few places I did that, did you discuss why the book was called Dead Wings?
No.
Because I wanted to ask that, and I said I would feel really stupid if he already asked that and answered it. And it was like, well, you obviously weren't paying attention. Well, sometimes I was Googling, and I wanted to know. But
I'm trying to think of Take These Broken Wings. What was it? Who did that?
Broken Wings. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings.
No. So take. It's way too high. These broken wings and learn to. Who was it? It was an '80s hit. The same band who did Carrie Ellison. Come on, Ian. Where are you with take these broken wings? I know you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, the king of Marvin Gardens. I couldn't even find the Monopoly guy thing to play. Sounds like an homage.
Oh.
Jack Nicholson's in that. Is that an old movie or a new movie? He didn't say, did he?
Okay, it came up. Mr. Nope, that's something else.
Mr. That's who did Broken Wings. Yes, and they did Kyrie Ellison or whatever.
Okay, because the first one that came up was Blackbird by the Beatles, and then Mr.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Yeah, no. Yeah, the other one is a much harder song to sing. That Broken Wings by Mr. Say what you will. I hate to put down Paul McCartney, but I think that this is a better song.
I must be the Monopoly guy.
It took that long to find that freaking thing. All right, you can shut up. For the free parking. Oh, did you hear that? Mr. Finally, thank you. I mean, 3 hours later, you weren't a big fan of Mr. were you? We got two slaptails. We got one on YouTube and one on Twitch. Which one do you...
I think the Twitch one he was listening only, and now he doesn't have a client so he can watch. I don't know.
All right. Well, what are we doing this week? I have paint party. So I had a paint party that was scheduled, and they didn't tell me the paint. They often don't tell me the painting when can you do a paint party for 20 people, whatever. And 3 days before, I get the painting link. Here's the painting they want. And can I share the painting? Because I was like, I can't do that fucking painting. Is there a tutorial for me?
Is it jellyfish again?
I got to say image. No, it's not. It's hard, much harder than jellyfish. I welcome the jellyfish now because I can do the jellyfish. Where is the image file? Come on, load up, man. Oh my God, this is just painful. This fucking computer. It's about time I cashed in this computer.
Did you do the upgrade? Oh no, you did do the upgrade. It just took forever to do it.
Yeah, I think it needs a new processor. This dopey machine. I think it's just beat up. Is this it? No, no, that's not the one. Where's the damn? It's a bunny anyway. So it's a bunny. I can't bring it up. I thought I could bring it up, but I can't.
Like a Playboy bunny or like
a bunny. It's a really detailed. You know what? Why won't it let me pull up the bunny? You know what? I can't pull up my bunny. Oh, because of the whip. You know those whip files.
I'm thinking. No. Oh, web file. You mean the web files?
It's not a JPEG. It's not a
web file, but a web file isn't an image file. It's more like a link to a website or something.
WEPB is the image that comes down. Can I do this? Where is it? Come on, bunny. You motherfucking bunny, you. Anyway, but 3 days before, they show me this painting that I'm supposed to do for 10 people. It's a pretty detailed bunny. And I was like, I can't do this. Can you get me a tutorial on it? And so then I couldn't find a replacement. Here it is. Let me see now if I could share this. Because to me, this is not just you know what I'm saying? This is something. It's not here's this bunny. Come on, bunny. Oh, come on with your spinning wheel of death. I hate this. Welcome to the Boomer technical problems segment of the show. Here it is. Is it coming in? No. Never mind. It's not a bunny. There is no such thing as a bunny. There never was a bunny.
I'm doing some yard work, a lot of yard work, and I have like an abundance of pokeweed, which in theory is edible if you prepare it correctly. And it, so you have to boil it and strain it several times to get the toxins out. But I was getting all these rashes on my hands, and I was wearing gloves, but I didn't know, and on my arms and stuff, I was getting these rashes. And I was trying to find out about other uses for this poke, because like I said, I had a lot of it, and I'm just trying to kill it and get rid of it. And I was just curious whether or not there's something in nature that would eat it, And so I'm doing my research, and it says it's poisonous to people. And then it shows me pictures of people with poke rash. And this is what I have on my hands, poke rash. I've never known that there was such a thing as poke rash. I grew up being immune to poison ivy, poison sumac, poison oak. I could wallow in it. Oh, there's the bunny.
Why is he behind you? That's weird. Did I put it in the wrong place? Did I reload it as a background? No.
He's not behind me. It's in the middle, and I'm on the side.
I thought, wait, I'm
on the side.
That's not what I'm seeing over there. That's weird. Over there, I'm seeing that. But yeah, so that's a pretty difficult bunny, don't you think? That's to learn to do over there, and not just to learn to do. You have to be able to teach it to a class of 20 people in a 2-hour lesson.
I don't know. I mean, you break it up into parts. I don't know. I don't see any difficult techniques in there.
Oh, the hair is a difficult technique, especially, again, the time limitations. This is not something you can take 2 weeks on, or even a week, or wait for stuff to dry. It's kind of, you have to be able to finish it in 90 minutes to 2 hours tops, and get all that hair texture and all that stuff, and wait for it to dry. I mean, look at some of the ways.
But the hair texture look like it's done with just like flattening a brush or palette, or like squish and smooth, and I don't know the terms because I'm not a painter.
Yeah, but you would have to wait for, in general, for it to be a little bit dry before you got that. It's not like oil paint. It's acrylic paint, so you kind of have to wait for it to dry, and you don't have time to wait for it to dry to do that. So you have to come up with a hybrid wet-on-wet type of making hair technique. And there's little things with just a little whiskers falling off the bottom of the chin.
Yeah, the whiskers, that's a nice touch for the whiskers.
Yeah. And then the flowers in the hair.
Yeah. And that was what I was paying attention. That's what I was really, because I'm looking at the rabbit. I'm thinking, the rabbit looks pretty simple to me, but the flowers.
All right. I hear what you're saying. It looks pretty simple to you. You've painted before. Think of 20 people who've never picked up a brush before. This is their first time painting. They can't even get the shape of the bunny. It's not that. For me, it was a little intimidating. Anyway,
I mean, look, believe me, I think for a first timer, I think it'd be really, really difficult. Even if that were a paint by number set, I think it'd be difficult for a first timer.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is I'm gonna have to do it because they couldn't find a sub for me. So I've been practicing. I'm not even going to show you the practice runs that I did, but then that looks like fucking.
I wouldn't show anybody the practice runs. I don't even show people my practice jokes. When I write material, usually I don't. I mean, I showed, sometimes I'll share it with because I'm in a workshop, I may share something with Dylan only because it's a workshop. You have to share something. But I don't like sharing. I don't like sharing stuff like that.
How do I get rid of this bunny? Get off my stage, bunny. Stop screen. Yes, there you go.
And you asked about what we're doing Saturday. I mean, this weekend. Saturday, my wife and I are having lunch with friends on a lake, in Pennsylvania. And
Lake Erie?
No, not Lake Erie. It's a little bit smaller lake. I think it's called Small Lake. Little tiny lake. I think it's called.
I think
little tiny lake. And on Sunday, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but there's a band called Crack the Sky, which my wife and I are going to go see on the 10th.
Crack the Sky, you say?
Crack the Sky. My wife and I are going to go see Crack the Sky on Sunday.
Oh, you're gonna yell that from the audience and get beat up, and then it'll be on the news.
First of all, I don't think I think most of the people who are Crack the Sky fans are going to be my age or older. I doubt that anybody my age or older can beat me up, because most of them are not going to be in the shape that I'm in. We're drunken. and not only that, a lot of Crack the Sky fans are white. I have black rage. They're not going to fuck with me. They're not gonna fuck with me.
Wow.
I mean, I smile a lot and I joke a lot, but there's still a lot of black rage inside of me. I just don't let it out.
Interesting. I mean, now this is in a theater. This Crack the Sky show, right?
No, it's outside.
Oh, it's outside.
Yeah.
And ticket. You want to tell me what the tickets cost for that?
I don't know. My wife got them as a gift for me.
Just wondering how they did on sale. Like, I'm not here. We have this thing with the tribute bands. Every friggin' town on Long Island, township on Long Island, has these outdoor concerts, tribute bands, and they bring it like Fleetwood Mac tribute band, bringing in like 20,000 people to a big park thing. Now they're not paying for tickets. I wonder if that makes a difference that it's free. But I'm wondering how Crack the Sky would do, because I've seen some like Mickey Dolenz from the Beatles.
Yeah, but there's a difference. You said Mickey Dolenz from the Beatles?
Yeah, but
the Monkees.
Five people show up.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. In a park that holds 20,000 people. So I'm just wondering what a Crack the Sky crowd is going to look like.
Well, this is Crack the Sky in Baltimore. You know, in the Baltimore area. This is their home turf. They're still gods here.
I did not know
they are still locally. They are still gods. And a lot of it's now. I don't know about the new music. I have not. I have their first 5 albums or CDs. Well, CDs to me. I have their first 5. Yeah,
5 albums.
And I know they have new music out that I started to listen to it, and and this is the stupid part of me. I know like every word to every song of their first 5 albums, and I started listening to this other one, and I'm going, I don't know any of these words. So I didn't listen to the rest of it. It's like, I don't know any of these words. I can't sing along. So I stopped listening.
I was listening to some songwriter, Art of the Song or something. It's a YouTube channel where these 2 Grammy-winning industry professional songwriters were talking about, and they said one of the tests and that they used to run in the music industry was for a focus group if they can sing the chorus the second time they've heard it. So you go through a song, you present them halfway through the song, you get the first chorus and then another verse. If by the second chorus a good percentage of the audience can sing along at that point, that's a good test for whether it's going to be a radio friendly hit.
Now, Stephen and I noticed when we were at the Giggle Room. Stephen and I noticed that when I was doing one of my song parodies, some of the people there was a table that was singing along with me, and they don't know these words. I literally just, these are my words. They're not even the actual song, but they could sing along with what we're. And I was, Stephen and I both. Yeah, you were like.
No, what? I know where it came from. They were former guests on the show. They were psychics, and they were either that or don't you have lyric sheets on your website or something? Maybe they went there.
I do. If they know what songs, I have like 20 songs on my website, my karaoke songbook, maybe 30. No, I think it's like 20 something songs. So unless they know what songs I'm going to do,
they downloaded them all just in case. Bring the whole catalog.
That's true, because in theory, that's how that's supposed to work. Where if people want to sing along, I would tell them the song, and they would open up their phone and go to the karaoke songbook, and they could sing along.
But these people were random. You grabbed them from across the street or something, right? When they were in the Giggle Room, there was like.
Oh no! These people. The couple at that table. This is when I was up barking. The day earlier in the week, I was up barking. And I was handing out flyers.
No, that was my dog. I
was handing out flyers in a parking lot, and he says that's why we came, because you invited us. You gave us. Yeah, so yeah, I invited a lot of people. I handed out like quite 100 some odd flyers out there.
All right.
It was 2 days I was barking.
Bark, 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 bark. Well, no Ron again. Oh, do we have Ron? It's hard to tell. Was he here?
I didn't hear anybody play the Monopoly Guy thing or Boomer Corner music.
I did. I played the Monopoly Guy thing.
And I didn't hear anybody remind us that we're all bisexual in nature. So I don't think he was here today.
So that was just me thinking it.
It's possible.
Okay.
Possible.
Oh yeah, I think Leanne Olinsky booked for next week.
Tuesday, 19.
Yeah. No, it's just Leanne, not Leanna. Why do I keep calling her Leanna? Can you stop me from?
I can't stop you.
You can't reprogram my mind. You can't, or my emotions. Or what do we?
No, I can't even get somebody to stop saying posterity when they mean prosperity.
Prostate. It's prostate. Prostate.
Yeah, I don't know if the other day I was complaining about
Don't complain.
On TikTok, there are these Neil deGrasse Tyson shorts on TikTok, and they start off with his face and his voice, and you think it's him, and then they switch to it. So I've learned now that if they switch to imagery, it is AI generated, because they did the same thing. They start talking about an asteroid K-29 that has these markings on it that resemble barcodes and blah blah blah. And so I go to research it. I said that doesn't sound right, because there'd be images. The images are not of the asteroid, but they're talking about the asteroid and the markings on it. And I said, well, why aren't they showing the asteroid instead of just a picture of this must be AI generated. Sure enough, it didn't happen. It's not Neil deGrasse Tyson. They just made it look like him. And if you don't research it, you're going to believe about this asteroid K-29, blah, blah, blah. They really got to do something. I mean, Neil deGrasse has to do something about this. I'm going to call him. He's got to stop these people from doing it.
It's not up to him, but
he's got to stop it. He's got to.
But this was on TikTok, right? Not YouTube.
Yeah, TikTok. It could have been YouTube. No, it was TikTok. It was TikTok.
I think YouTube was taking measures to cut down on AI slop or whatever it's called.
Right. YouTube is taking measures to cut down on AI slop.
The idiots who sell the AI apps, they're just misleading people, because they're still telling people you could cash in and make millions of money, faceless AI videos. I think they're lying to people. That was the case a year ago, and you'd have to be really good to make millions of dollars. You'd have to be really good to make thousands of dollars, to be honest with you, or even hundreds of dollars. But they're still selling it as if, oh no, thank you. They're still selling it as if it were a viable money-making app type of thing. They got to do something with them, right? They invested all this money into building apps, not knowing that YouTube was going to say no more AI slop.
Now, part of me wants to, when I see these fake things, just to put a comment in there that says fake. But the fact that I commented helps them.
That's true.
That
was what I was kind of trying to allude to yesterday with the pendulum thing. The only thing you can really do is do nothing. Taking no action, though, requires a lot of patience and real faith.
Yeah, and I have to identify it quickly and then stop it and move on to the next thing, because also how long you pay attention to it makes a difference to them. Yeah. If it's if it's like a 90-second thing and I watch the whole thing and I go like, I think this is fake. I watch it. I've said, okay, I've increased their watch time, and I need to, as soon as I suspect that it's fake, just
not even just a watch time. The minute you interact at all, YouTube counts that as engagement and will show it to more people. So you're definitely helping them out.
Yeah, but then that's kind of cheating, because it goes to the next video automatically. It's not like you're choosing to watch it; it's feeding it to you. And they're saying, we're feeding it to you. you just watched it, even if for a second, even though it took you 2 seconds to realize I didn't want to see it, we're going to count it as engagement, even though you didn't want to engage. You didn't have a choice.
That's true, but even that next one that they're showing you, that is based on somebody else's engagement who you two have profiled that's similar to you. So a guy like G.D. Fenderson liked this or commented on it. Now we know G.D. Fenderson just watched this video. Let's show him that one.
Yeah, but if they know G.D. Fenderson, they know G.D. Fenderson does not like fake shit.
Oh, I don't
I don't like fake shit. I don't like watching something go like, that doesn't sound right. Then look it up and go like, motherfucker, that's a lie. I don't want to waste my time like that, you know?
You say you don't like fake shit.
I don't like fake stuff. No.
What's on your shelf? Fake dildos, fake cocks, fake.
I didn't say I like them. They're there for the Reverend.
Okay.
The Reverend uses them.
All right, fine.
And the audience likes them.
I was just busting your fake balls, all right?
These are not fake balls, buddy. They're just as useful as fake balls.
Okay. Last night, I was speaking of faith and all that stuff. I had Sullivan Hicks on, and I noticed you were in. Now, I just want to say that you don't ever need an invitation. I was thinking of like before the show last night, saying you want to come on and be part of the program. I didn't think you needed a invitation. You were in the chat room. I think. First of all, he found the Rev, and this is how he got it.
Yeah, that I did not know.
Yeah. So, and he thought the Rev had, I think what he saw was the Rev boosting Coffee with the Dog. You want to be a guest on Coffee with the Dog. And that's what got him involved. But he thought I don't want to say he thought the Rev was a real Reverend. The Rev is a real Reverend. But he didn't think it was comedy. It was for a serious program. And I was like, you don't want to go on the Rev's. You're just gonna get a lot of fuck yes. So I want to have him on this program because I understand you didn't want to debate him, and I didn't want to make it seem like you were wanting to debate him.
The reason why I didn't want to debate him because I could listen to the way he's talking, and he's very, very young in his faith. Okay, and he's saying a lot of things that he really can't defend. He's just believing, like even the sense that he goes, I don't belong to a school of thought. I just read the Bible. And then he talks about these other people whose books he's read, then that's what's influencing you. You just don't realize it, but they're influencing you. And the sheer fact that he's influenced by them, and to read the King James Bible, which is a very not good translation of the Greek and Aramaic and it's not a good translation. No.
All right. Well, I hope there's nothing else that you don't know this about me, is that I will recognize when people know more about something than me, and I need to, and I recognize that you know a billion times, maybe a billion, maybe 999 million times more than me about the Bible, religious stuff. And one of the comments you made yesterday had me kind of up until keep in mind the age that last 1,000 milligram gummy. So I was thinking about this, but you were talking about the Holy Trinity being a construct. Why? Because the Catholic belief.
It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. It's dogma.
Right. Okay. So, but there are certain branches of Christianity. I don't know if all Christianity embraces that completely. That Stephen Colbert, when Ricky Gervais said, "Do you believe in God?" He said, "Yes, but we're in three persons." Now he's a Catholic, I believe. Where did that come from? And what is the difference between biblically based scripture and dogma?
Well, basically the real difference is if it's scripture, it's in the Bible. That's plain and simple. That's the simplest way. Dogma means somebody's trying to explain something that they couldn't explain to their followers or their parishioners, and so they made up a bunch of shit, and they've accepted it. You say, okay, well, you're a figure of authority. We accept what you're saying as truth, and it'll become our dogma. And I say dogma because it's not like they accepted a truth. They just said, we don't know the truth. We're just going to accept what you say and claim it.
Seems a stretch to make that up if you don't really know. I mean, I think we're so.
Well, here's the problem. See, for some Christians, it's important for them to say that Jesus was divine, that he was God. Okay, and they've seen that, but then they have to explain, if Jesus is God, how can he be his own father? See?
Yeah.
And
But where does the
then,
Holy Ghost come in? Yeah.
well, again, the Spirit. It's again they're trying to just say all three of them are the same thing.
Yeah.
And so that whole Trinity thing is as convoluted as it is just something they accept. And they say, well, we can't explain it. It's the mystery of God. It's a mystery. But that's, no, it's bullshit. It's not real. It's not true.
Feels like that analogy, and obviously he was taught that analogy of
right.
liquid ice, gas.
Yes, that's something that they're taught.
Yeah, that makes that's a good one. Whoever came up with that,
it is a good one.
Yeah,
it would be really good if it were true.
Yeah, how do we know what's true and what's not true? I mean, I don't know, but I'm willing to. It does sound like a stretch, like trying to say, well, the Father and the Son are the same. And so why do we even need the Holy Ghost?
Right. Yeah.
So
they were from Alabama. They were like from Alabama. I'm my own grandpa. Which I think is a very good, funny song. Do you know that song?
No.
It's a song about basically it's about incest, and I think it's called "I'm My Own Grandpa." I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's like the guy from Alabama who told his brother he was going to get married to a virgin. He said, "Virgin? She ain't good enough for her own family. What makes you think she's good enough for ours?" Sorry, Stephen. I didn't mean to put down people from Alabama, even though I do really mean to put down people from Alabama.
My own grandpa.
My own. Don't be playing that. I don't need no copyright.
No, I'm just looking for the lyrics.
Incest song.
No, I'm not going to play it. I just want to read the lyrics. Okay, just some of the lyrics because you can't get a copyright strike for reading that. Oh, it's Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson sang it.
Wow. Did he write it?
Let me see it. Now, many, many years ago, when I was 23, I was married to a widow who was pretty as could be. This widow had a grown-up daughter, had hair of red. My father fell in love with her, and soon the two were wed. This made my dad my son-in-law and changed my very life. My daughter was my mother because she was my father's wife.
Oh my God.
To complicate the matters, even though it brought me joy, I soon became the father of a bouncing baby boy. My little baby then became a brother-in-law to dad, and so became my uncle, though it made me very sad. And it goes on it just goes on and on until he eventually explains that he's his own grandpa.
Wow, I would. You know what? Whoever wrote that song, I mean, you're a little bit perverted and weird to begin with, but I mean, that's mental gymnastics. I admire the ability to kind of.
Well, it says song by Willie Nelson.
So I guess Willie did write that. So good for him. But I mean, the ability to keep that together and string it together where it makes sense, I would give up. Because there are plenty of examples of the woman I thought was my oldest sister is actually my mother, and the person I thought was my mother was my grandmother. I think Jack Nicholson, Richard Pryor, there's a bunch of people who have that kind of story in common where they had an older sister they thought they had who they thought was their older sister, but it actually turned out to be their mother, and the person they thought was their mother is actually their grandmother.
Right, that happened a lot in the 50s and 60s when people weren't allowed to get abortions, and so their teenagers got pregnant, and so when they went off, had the baby, and they came back with a new story about
but that into where you get into marriages and my father is my whoa boy that's
I remember when I first heard this song, I just didn't remember it was Willie Nelson. And I just thought it was a funny song, and again, the gymnastics is just good.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, just because Willie wrote it doesn't mean he had the hit with it. It could have been that. Willie,
well, that's true.
Yeah.
Ask Anthony Newley.
Yeah. In the day, Willie was writing for everybody before the Redhead Stranger album. He was primarily known as a songwriter for other people. I forgot. There was another religious question I wanted to ask you about last night. I forget what it was.
Was it about Crack the Sky and why I'm going to see them on Sunday instead of
Are they religious?
No.
Yeah.
No, but they have a really. I don't even think the closest thing they have to a religious song, and it's not really religious. It's a song called "Sea Epic," and it's about a shipwreck. And the guy who's he was on. Oh, when the ship is going down, this guy is just like a first mate or something, and he sees the ship is going down, and he starts to pray to God. He goes, God, I know you can't save everybody, but please just save the captain. Because he has, he's got a purpose. He leads a fleet, and he has a family at home waiting for me. I don't have anybody, so don't save me. Save the captain. And then God says to him, "I'll save who the hell I want. Don't tell me who to save." And so the guy goes. So when the storm is over, I look around and I see it's me. Oh yeah, and the guy goes, and I don't have any skills. I don't have any crafts. I will just starve. If you save me, I would just starve to death anyway. So don't waste your time saving me. Save the captain. And so when the storm is over with, he sees that who's been saved is him and the cook. So he has somebody who can cook, so he won't starve.
Let me just tell you that guy who asked God to save the captain and not him because he had no skills, he needs to get with Alain Salas, which is limiting beliefs, reprogramming stuff, because that's a limiting belief. You have plenty of skills. You could, you're a good prayer.
Well, I like that song. It's kind of it's got a really it's kind of humorous. Like God says, like, don't tell me who to save.
Don't be telling God how to do his job. I mean, talk about pretentious.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. And that's a good song. It's well constructed. Well, actually, I don't know of anything in their first 5 albums that I don't like.
Wow. You keep saying first 5 albums. That's a fucking super career. How are these guys not 5 albums? God, they sit
But the reason I think the reason why they never caught on big part of is like when they came around, but also their music is kind of complicated. As a musician, they're one of the few bands that I had to when I covered their songs, I had to work my ass off, just like Steely Dan. That's there's some groups that I'm like, man, these are really good musicians, and it was like busting my balls to get it right. And sometimes I still never got it right. I just got it close enough that the average listener couldn't tell I didn't get it right. But somebody else who really knows would go like, "Oh, you skipped some notes there." It's like, you fucking right I did. I slid up to I said I didn't do the whole run. I just slid up to that next note because my fingers aren't fast enough to hit all those notes.
Next week we got another shitty week with no guests. I mean, we have one guest on Friday, somebody who's been here before, Andy Dietrich. I think I spent the whole time asking him if he was related to Marlena Dietrich. That's Friday, but the week after next is full of guests. It's all packed up and through September then. But next week is a lot. Maybe we should just take some days off.
Well, no, because Tuesday, I can talk about my Crack the Sky experience.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I can do that. I'll do that all week.
Do that.
And since there's 5 albums, I'm going to try to get them. Well, actually, it's not. I don't have the albums anymore. I have the CDs. So their first 2 albums are on a 1 CD set. Their second 2 albums are on a CD set, and then their 5th album is on a CD by itself.
Yeah. If you could try to get some interview or just a couple of words from some of the guys in the band. You got to be a little bit. Do they do meet and greets? Probably.
You know what I'll do? I will. If I get a chance, an opportunity to talk to them, I will invite them on the show.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Also, if this is so and so from Crack the Sky, and I listen to Mind Dog TV, Coffee with a Dog, something like that. Like, I want my MTV. That would be priceless for a sound clip.
I will see if I can. If I can get that. I will. I'll have because whenever I do meet and greets, my wife. First of all, my wife hates meet and greets. She can't stand them, and so what she does is she'll take my phone and she'll record it. So I do not have any photographs with me and like celebrities. I actually have videos, and I'll take a still. And Yeah, and so I will like. So like it looks like so if I really wanted to, I could have like 1,000 pictures of me and celebrities, but it's actually just like a clip, It's just like a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute video clip, and I could just do all these stills.
Yeah. Excuse me while I crack this guy. Robert Gantz, when I first introduced him, good morning. Hey.
Yeah.
Where's this gonna go? But I didn't know, but it turned out to be a good conversation. The one thing, going back to Alain, whatever. I'm never gonna get his name right. He said, "How do you say this?
You may not know this about me." No,
well, that part is definitely gonna be a sound clip. But he did say, "What you want, you already have." It's like, so
yeah.
You're saying I don't have to go drive down to Puspatuck today? Is that what you're telling me?
No, what he's trying to say is you have to tell your subconscious that you already have it. So that yeah.
I already have a jar full of good sativa.
See,
nope.
I guess because your subconscious didn't believe it.
That's probably that smells.
Yeah. So
nice.
Yeah, I hear a lot of the affirmation stuff. This similar to like affirmations meet biofeedback. So you keep telling yourself and make yourself believe it, and then
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm not a big affirmation guy. There was a time.
No, me either. I like little affirmations. Big ones are too complicated. You can get. I like little affirmations.
Yeah, you do have a big dick. That's my affirmation. The only affirmation I know is you do have a big dick, and
my affirmation is I've seen bigger. So
it's not a micro penis. It's not a micro penis. All right. So anyway, yeah, Andy Dietrich. Do you remember that conversation with Andy Dietrich? Why is he coming back so soon? It's time for me to lay down and just because all these guests, somebody said they wanted a link to their segment. And I was like, were you on the show? Oh yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was only a couple of weeks ago. Like, oh my God, how do I not remember these guests and their conversations? Because there's just too many of them. And I'm old, and I have dementia, and that's my excuse. And I have a rock in my shoe. Sun was in my eye. I ran out of gas. Any other excuses? No.
Ton overslept. Dog ate my homework.
Oh, I forgot the dog. Dog won't eat its medicine. That's what I know. Yesterday I was tasked with getting the dog to take a Lyme disease pill.
Is this for chronic Lyme disease or just regular Lyme disease?
According to my best friend in the world, John Beaverman from Beaverman, Dewey and Howe, there's no such thing as chronic Lyme disease, right? It's just Lyme disease.
I thought chronic Lyme disease was when you drinking chronic. And
yeah. Well, the dog looked at me
when you share your chronic with a deer tick.
Yeah. Well, the dog looked at me because she got to give it to him with food, right? The dog looked at me like, "Why are you giving me food at 11:30 in the morning, or 11:45? It's not even noon, and you're giving me food. What's up?" It's like, nothing up. It's just, would you like a piece of shit?
Were you eating also?
No.
See, you should fix yourself a plate and then had like a little chunk for him set aside, and he'll sit and beg what you're eating, and you go, "Oh, you want something here?"
Look at me,
and then it makes sense.
Cheese, huh? You think I'm falling for that cheese trick? What's in the cheese? I gave him the cheese. She ate all the cheese and spit out the pill. Like that's fucking skilled. You sneaky bastard. And now how do I get it to swallow the pill? Put the pill in her mouth, hold her mouth shut.
Yeah. And then do this.
Let it go, and she spits out the pill.
Do this thing.
I still have the pill here. Here's the pill. I don't know.
What's it taste like now? No. See, to give my cat her pill, I grind it up and I put it in gravy, and I put it in one of these like it's like a baster. It's like a mini baster, and then but I can't squirt it in her mouth because she'll go. I have to I have to do lines of it on my finger, and she licks it off my finger.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should just chop it up into things and ask the dog if she wants to snort the pill. But so that's my thing now. I'm gonna have to go.
You grind it up and give her an enema.
Well, yesterday I'm laying down and I got the dog's head on one side and one of the cats is over here, and they're face to face. And these cats, they're not dog friendly. I mean, it's taken a long time, but now they're face to face on my chest, and the dog sticks out its tongue, and the cat like headbutted the dog's tongue, and then looked at me like, "Ew, I got dog spit on my head." Dog spit on my head. And was guy who was freaking out like, "I got dog." So that was a bad idea.
Well, it's nice that they could do that because that's, like I said, I try to make it so that the animals don't fight over resources, because that's when they fight, when there's not enough of something to go around. So you have to show them there's enough affection, there's enough food, there's enough water, there's enough whatever it is to go around. And then it's like, okay, as long as there's enough for me, I'm fine. I can share the overage.
Yeah. All right, I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work on getting us some guests for next week. We can't have 4 days and then of no guests, and then a guest we've already talked to on Friday. That's just a disaster week. We need to. I'll get some people for next week. But in the meantime,
reach out to Jackie, see if he wants to come on and promote his September thing again, and see if he wants to talk about Howard's How Weird parody album.
Yeah,
he said it was silly fun.
Yeah, you know what? I think there's some dispute now. I think Howard Stern had like a surprise visit to his own studio to kind of talk about the issues yesterday. I don't know what he said, whether he's not, maybe he's going to continue on without Sirius. I don't know. But it would be good to get Jackie's take on all this stuff, because he's not getting fired, and he's definitely not broke. People, he went broke, he's not woke, now he's gone broke. No, I don't think that. If that's the kind of broke he is, that's the kind of broke we all need to be. That kind of
this is what the black attorney for OJ,
Johnny
Cochran. That's what he starts off with this rhyming defense. That's his. Every defense is like a rhyme. It's like, if a glove don't fit, you must have quit. So now everybody thinks that's their closing argument. He went woke, now he's broke. It's like, no, that's not a closing argument. It's just, it's not even true.
Definitely not true in Stern's defense.
I think
Sirius might have went broke, but Howard didn't. Howard banked all that money, and if you know anything about Howard, he wasn't exactly the most generous person. He was with Robin. I don't think with anybody else on the staff, though, he was all that generous with. Anyway, that's the show. That's the week. You people have fun. I'm going to go do paint parties. I'm going to practice painting my bunny. I'm going to practice painting your bunny. And
tune in and check out the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll on Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Right. And don't think you're joining him on that. He doesn't need any help on that. So don't think we're going to have a religious debate with Pastor Reverend Jelly Roll on his own show. So he's talking about Coffee with the Dog, which he does as a kindness of his own heart to plug for guests on this. And they still can't figure it out. They still have to go through G.D. Fenderson and say, "Well, how do I get on that program?"
I think it's kind of clever that they went for the Reverend, found me to get to you. That's extra steps. They could have just gone to the booking, MindDogTV/booking, but they went, island jumping.
Well, I think the Rev mentions G.D. Fenderson a lot, often, and maybe they heard. I don't know. I didn't get into that depth of how did you find us and what. I did say that was the first thing before we went on the air. What the hell are you doing here, especially on the night program? Because I know you made contact with GD. He's on the morning program, not on this generally, but you're welcome. I want that to be clear. Anytime, don't wait for an invitation. If you have the keys to walk in the studio if you want. If you're compelled to have a conversation with one of the guests that I have on, you're welcome to just join it. So don't wait for me to invite you. All right, we're done. We're done. With that, I want to say, don't forget. What the hell are you not supposed to forget? Oh, radio.
Don't forget the bass drum, the kick drum.
Right. Boom.
to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen.